It's game time. Welcome to the Sports, Bants and Prosecco podcast.
This is Sports, Bants and Prosecco.
Welcome, guys.
This is the last podcast for the season. We're going to
already
go
know.
straight into it, and we're going to start with an excited Blue.
Hey, Chelsea!
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, firstly for
Thank
the
you.
ladies
Thank
and
you.
men.
Yes.
All I've got to say is, if it's got Europa in front of it,
You're
won
on
it.
it.
Yes.
You're on it.
All right. I think. Listen, I'm very proud of my boys. Really,
Yep.
really proud. Listen, we are the youngest team in the Premier League.
True, you know. I was
Listen,
looking
think
at your guys when you were celebrating. I think they all look like
they're
kids.
babies. Reece James, I thought he was so much older. He's 25.
What?
Reece James at
He
25
came
has
like a
played the
granddad.
Champions League and won one. You know.
That's
Do
brilliant.
you know how mad that is?
So he's
Well done.
on that picture. The average age was then 25.
Less than
Obviously,
that.
when he
I
came
reckon-
on,
I reckon the average age is
because they said 24.
yeah,
That's your squad.
yeah.
So that's it. Like they're
That's-
but they've done well.
They've done really well. And you know what? I think people saying, oh, they shouldn't be celebrating taking fourth, but just break that down for a
just-
split
yeah, right.
second.
Minute,
Let's just
yeah.
break it down.
Yeah.
Remember, most of these boys have never played Champions League.
No.
The team itself hasn't been in Champions League for 2 years. And of that 2 years, most of the boys that were on the pitch, I think it's only Enzo and Reece James that have actually played a Champions
Champions
League.
League.
Yeah. Let them be excited.
Mm.
Like, let them be.
Yeah.
Imagine being 2021 and
And
you're
you are
playing
reaching.
Champions and and the season, the was it 2022 season? I think we finished 14th. Then we finished 6th. Now we finished 4th. That's constant progression. And the boys that are there now have, for the most part, have participated in that.
Yes.
And some of them might have been like in their 20. It would have been like 20 when they first started getting to play. And now they're getting told they're going to play Champions League. Come
Yeah.
on. And wouldn't it be sadder to have a team who's not excited about it?
It's true though.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just haters.
Absolutely.
Just
And I think
haters,
for me,
seriously.
again, it's for Premier League this season was exciting in the sense that it wasn't Man City at the top, running away with
The
it
whole way.
again.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. I mean, we're not even going to talk about United.
We will.
Right? Not getting a look in because I've
Yeah,
really
yeah,
been getting
yeah,
a look in
yeah,
anyway. But the point is, and I think even having Nottingham Forest up there, for instance,
Just looking at the points.
majority, I know they fell off, but majority of the season, they stayed up there. They were
But
up
even just
there.
looking at the points, like last season,
Yes.
obviously, wasn't that didn't get up to nearly 100 or
100,
something?
absolutely.
Whereas looking at the points now, and that's because it was so competitive.
Was it like
my
80
boys?
What was it? 80? What did you finish on?
97.
90 something.
Okay,
90 something.
okay.
Yeah.
But my boys, they won 20 games this season.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, obviously, would I like to have won 38? Sure, but that's not. So that's not. They didn't do too bad. Considering where they were last season. Because we were the season before. My boys are progressing, and I'm very, very proud of them.
Oh, they did,
Very-
yeah, they did.
And then on top of that, they went on to win the Europa Conference League. Now, remember I
Yeah.
said at the beginning of the season, I said, I ain't watch no games, yeah?
Oh,
But if we win, I ain't shut play.
Sorry, what does that mean for you though?
In terms of,
What was the purpose of winning the conference?
so that we can collect all the rings like Thanos.
Look at this one.
So we should collect all the rings like
Thanos.
Thanos.
Okay.
Yes. Like Thanos. Next thing you do
Yes,
is
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
I like
yes,
that one.
no. What?
bars. And you know, so basically, like I said, if it's got Europa in front of it, we've won it at this point.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But then also, the boys
I
needed
love
it.
that.
The boys needed it. Because,
Yeah.
come on, you'd be giving me so much talk if we'd played and not won. Exactly. And you know what? The expectation is that we will win. And us winning has actually done, is it Newcastle a favour? Who's it done a favour? Could somebody else get Europa now?
It's
I think,
Isn't it-
we have to check because
No, I checked it yesterday.
Because often the person who's in the final with Chelsea,
That's bullshit. No, I checked it
will
yesterday.
bounce up.
So I checked
So I
it.
don't know. Like,
So I checked it yesterday. The UK, well, English football has 9 British teams playing European football.
Wow, that says a
Next
lot. There you
season.
go.
Yeah.
What's
So
that
you've
tell you
got,
about-
oh, you mean in England who's in the Europa? Oh, sorry.
What
my
does
bad.
it-
I thought
what
you
does
were
it
just saying
take it
that.
away?
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
So obviously top 5.
Yeah.
So who's that? That's you,
myself, Arsenal, Man City,
Chelsea,
and
And
Newcastle.
and
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
And then Tottenham are also playing because they won.
Yeah.
Yep.
Europa.
But then you got
They
Aston
got-
Villa,
yeah.
number 6.
Yeah.
Aston Villa
Nottingham
6.
Forest.
And Forest got it
No,
because
Forest ain't got it.
they have
They
because
have
we won
7.
Europa.
Yeah.
They're
we
not
won
in it.
No, we won conference.
Conference. So,
So-
they,
so-
they,
So we won a
Nottingham
place in,
Forest are in the Europa Conference.
because we won.
Because they finished 7th.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and then basically
Villa
because
are
we
in the Europa
won.
League.
So basically, because we won Conference League, we get a Europa spot. but we're already in Champions.
You're already in Champions League.
So
yeah.
it
Okay,
comes
so
down
you've
to-
given it. This is
And
why
then-
I
So
was
because
wondering.
because of us, they get to play Europa.
But there's
You're
only
welcome.
7
I was
teams
just
in-
gonna say,
there's only
you're
7
welcome.
You're welcome.
There's only 7 teams though in Europe from
So
England.
not
not 9.
No,
Seven.
it's 9. I can't.
No,
No,
it's
7.
7.
Let me double check. Maybe it is 7. No, I'm pretty sure
It's
nine.
7.
Might
It
be
can't be 9.
It might be
Can't-
7. Yeah, it might be
because
7.
Brighton, that would mean Brighton and Bournemouth are in it.
No, it's
No, it
7.
might be
It's
7.
just
Who's
7.
playing Conf?
Nottingham Forest.
And that's
because they
it.
finished 7th.
No, who's? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then you got Aston Villa playing Europa.
And
Yeah.
there should be another
And
team.
then
then
the
it's the
top
top 5
five
yeah,
in Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that format changed when they gave top 5, isn't it?
And Palace play Europa.
There's 2 teams
Yeah.
playing
Because-
Europa.
No, you're right. Palace play
Because
Europa
we don't
yes,
know.
you're
because
right.
they won the FA Cup.
Cup.
And
forgot about
Forest
Palace.
are playing because we have that spot.
And Tottenham.
Oh my God,
I'm
you're right.
playing
You're
Lou,
not
you're
Champions
right.
listening,
League.
No,
listening.
you're
Mel,
sorry.
you're not
Yeah,
clocking it.
yeah.
We won a Europa League spot by winning
right.
Conference League.
Yeah.
And Tottenham are in the Champions League.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So Tottenham are in the Champions League.
Oh
so
my
you're right. It is 9.
gosh.
It is
That's
9.
Yeah, I know, I
disrespectful.
didn't see my dick
No, you're right. I
yesterday.
didn't go further down. I didn't go
So
further down.
basically,
Yeah.
it's because the top 5
Yep,
got
you're right.
Champions League.
Yep.
Tottenham on top of that because they won
The
Europa.
Yep.
And then the normal Europa League spot goes to I can't remember, Villa.
Villa.
And then because we won,
Nottingham Forest get that spot.
they get our spot.
And then, as we said,
And then Conference
Tottenham
League
and
goes
Palace,
to, and then Conference League
And Palace
naturally.
get the Europa.
Europa because of the I didn't know that.
That's
you
9
That one.
British teams
That you
playing.
win the FA Cup, you playing.
Yeah,
in
so
Europa.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
if
That's how you got there, you
if
don't know.
Liverpool
Yeah.
had finished
That's
outside-
how
That's how Man United got there last season. You
year.
nicked it
Yeah.
from us.
Liverpool had finished outside the top 5 because they'd won the Carabao Cup. Did they? Who won the Carabao Cup?
I'm not sure.
Forest.
Forest. No, you're
Hold on.
thinking of
Newcastle won the Carabao
Yeah.
Cup.
That's it.
But if they had finished outside the top 5, they would have still got into Europe because they won
Because
the
they
Carabao
won.
Cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know that's how you lot got into.
I just forgot.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you know, for a second I was thinking,
'Cause
but
we
when
should have had
did
it
that
last
come
season.
in though? Has that
Yeah.
always been the?
Yeah, it's always been the case for the cups.
Oh, do
It's
you
always
know
been the
what?
case for the cups.
Well,
and
it's
then
not
what
about
happens
me.
is if
How did I
Literally,
miss
how
that
do you miss
bit
that
of?
one?
foreign, if Newcastle and I don't know who they played, Man City, right? So let's just say Man City was out of Europe, and Newcastle had won the Carabao Cup, but had finished in the top 5. Man City would get a place in Europe because they were in the final.
Got you. Got you.
So that's where it can be.
I ain't gonna lie though, if I was Real Betis, I'd be feeling a bit bumped. A little bit, because realistically, if we can't play, even though we won, they
Yeah,
came
they
second.
should-
No, but
Realistically,
they
should
will
have.
from their league, wherever they finish in the league, if they would get in.
Hopefully,
to it,
yeah,
through that
but-
place
Oh yeah,
because
that's
they were in the
it. Yeah,
final.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
eventually.
That's
So-
it. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
That's
So I'll be
it. Yeah,
pissed.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah,
Spanish, right? La Liga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they were outside, I don't know where they are in the Liga, but if they're outside of their European spots, they would get in because
it-
they were in the final, and Chelsea can't take that spot.
Question: is it the same number of top? Is it the same across the? Thank you for answering that.
What was the question?
I think you
Yeah.
Europe. You know how we've got top 5 in the rest of the leagues. The La
Is
Liga,
it the same sort of
Serie
format?
A,
Because
No,
top-
I think
top-
I don't
top
think there's as many
five-
teams
no,
as well.
Top 5. The reason why we get the 5th place is because of our stats in Europe.
But
Right.
also, I
Because
don't
if not,
think
it would
there's
just be
many
top 4.
As many
Because of
teams
our
playing that
success
wouldn't
in Europe.
There you
They
go.
would get an extra spot.
And that's what I mean. So that
Yeah.
just goes to show you the Premier League again.
But I mean, you can answer that just by looking at the Scottish League, because I think it's only like
Isn't it like
Rangers
3?
and Celtic.
yeah,
But it's usually Rangers, Celtic, and usually they have to play a playoff to get into the.
exactly.
Yeah,
Now
it's
imagine
just
giving them
normally
5 spots,
two.
like-
That's
like
okay.
exactly.
As long as
Wouldn't
you're
make
between
sense.
those two. Yeah,
that was
yeah.
Because
ridiculous.
the
Yeah.
league is quite weak and they don't
Yeah.
win anything.
Yeah.
So they
Do
don't
you know
get
what I
any-
was thinking though? Sorry to
Shame.
cut you. I was just thinking, it would have been nice for the Conference League spot to probably not go to a Premier League team. Probably go, and I get why it does go, but it would be nice for
For a
like,
championship.
yeah.
Do you know why I kind of agree with you? Kind of.
Same here.
It's
I'm thinking
because
it gives
it's
a
a way for them to
I think
Do something
the-
for sure. Get
in theory,
That's a good.
every British club in that Conference League probably should win it. Because the Premiership is so strong.
Yeah.
Do you see, like,
Agreed.
not Forest,
No,
I would
agreed.
expect to win it.
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it West
that-
Ham before
and
us?
then that kind of
Yeah.
West
Yes.
Ham, and
Yeah.
that kind of then loses
Yeah,
a bit of the
yeah, that's
competitiveness
true.
of that cup.
But on the flip
I guess.
side, but
That's
then
all.
on the flip side, for teams that normally finish 6th, 7th, but don't always play that good, they're getting the opportunity to be on the
Well,
European
look, West
stage.
Ham would never have won a Euro Cup
Had
if
they not
been
played in that.
exactly.
But I do think it kind of dilutes
Absolutely
the
agree.
competitiveness
Yeah.
of that
Of that
league.
particular
league.
league.
And I think
That
that for me
competition.
is the only thing. Like it like even if you think of the Europa League, right, it wasn't that strong. It's not surprising that 2 British teams got to the final.
It's true. It
It's
wasn't
really-
as
this
competitive.
season, yeah.
You know what,
this
it's so
season was
true.
crap.
You know,
Not past though.
No, but
No,
when you
past
look,
has
and you
been
look at
good.
how good the Premiership is,
First,
right? Whereas the Champions League is the one where there's challenge.
yeah,
Yeah,
of
I mean
course.
tonight.
Do you know what I
Of
mean?
course.
But you kind of were you surprised that it was a final between two British teams?
No, because
When
of
you look at
the
teams,
quality.
and you
Yeah,
look at the teams that you guys were
respectfully.
playing, respectfully, teams that I never but
You've heard of.
Birmingham,
But
for
that's why I
example.
said.
Do you know
but
what I
that
mean?
what's good
but
about
this is,
it.
but that's why the point I made that we played a Leon and your best was Bilbao. Do you know what I mean? But the rest of the teams, like you're saying, they weren't really.
Never knew
and,
anything
and
about
it
them.
kind of just
What a
a
shit
bit like what we
final,
talk about in
mate.
terms of
It was
the
so
Scottish
bad.
League, the French League, La Liga, right? When you take away the top Barcelona and
That's
Real
a bit
Madrid,
shit.
it's a bit
It's
shit.
just,
a bit
it's,
shit,
it's
right?
just.
But you take away PSG.
If I think I'd put
and
even
maybe
Atletico
it's a bit-
Madrid in that. The
And
top
Atletico-
three.
alright,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I was having this conversation with my husband. Even Real
As you do.
Madrid, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, y'all the best in your country, but you ain't shit on the stage. I'm gonna be honest
No,
with you.
who?
Real Madrid.
Real
I
Madrid.
feel like they're never really tested in their domestic leagues.
Oh God, no.
But this is what I'm saying.
you know what I
When
mean?
you look at the
But in saying
the,
that though, they've still won 15 Champions Leagues.
No,
So
but
Europe.
Yeah, I'm not taking that away
I'm
from
not
them.
taking
But
that, but what I'm saying is,
yeah.
in
Are you
terms
talking
of
about
the
La
league-
Liga itself?
Yes, so when you get down, what I said is when you take away Barcelona, Real
Real
Madrid,
Madrid,
and maybe
Atletico,
Atletico,
yep.
right? All the ones that are going to into the Europa or the conference
A bit
aren't
shit.
that
Yeah, a
great.
bit
shit.
So it's not
Yeah.
surprising
Like they're
that
getting
British
smacked by a
teams-
British team.
Right.
But
When you take away
yeah, yeah.
PSG,
Yeah, well,
right?
you know, PSG.
It's not surprising.
I think you just
that,
take away PSG in
you
Liga
know,
because
and if you look at Italy, you take
same.
away Inter.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? The
Yeah,
competitiveness
Juventus,
is not-
Napoli.
But then on the
Napoli.
flip side, this is why part of me feels like maybe we should be letting, I don't know, like some of our championship teams play purely because
Yeah, I think
it's
that
their
would be
opportunity
good. Point, Lou, because
to get on
those
that world
teams-
stage. Because
There you go.
and
And
let's
money
be
for
honest,
those smaller clubs as well.
Boom.
Like that's it. The big clubs have got so much money allow so the smaller clubs don't end up in liquidation, administration. You know what I mean?
That is
it's just
exactly
like
it.
that. So I think that's a really
exactly-
good shout.
And potentially, let's be honest, imagine the kind of story of film that could make. Imagine you're a championship team, you get to Conference League, somehow you win. You get to Europa, somehow you win.
Yeah.
You get Champions League. Bear in mind, you were never going to
You were
progress
never going
Premiership.
to.
To be fair, if it was times gone past, there would have been like when Wigan won the FA Cup, or there's been the odd time
There's
in
a
the
route.
they would have got or if they had got to the final and had lost, but they were playing say Man City got Champions League, they would have been bounced into the Europa League.
But imagine being a
Example.
championship team,
That's what I'm saying.
and somehow you've made it to the
Mate,
Champions League.
Imagine.
well,
Bear in mind, you're not playing Premiership.
Yeah,
You've
but
made it.
You see
that's
that?
not possible though. Not the Champions League.
No.
No,
It would
because
just only be
because
the
if they won
Europas.
Europa, if they got to
That's
Conference
what
League,
she's talking about.
if they
Yeah,
got to
that's
Conference
it.
League,
Imagine
No,
won
she's
it,
talking
then
about
got
that's what she
Europa,
said, and
won
won
it.
it, and then you're in a
A team
Champions
like
League.
that
That'd be a
never,
madness.
That would
but
be
imagine
madness.
never
You know
seeing
what, though?
Premier League football, but making it to
Yeah, that'd
Champions
be
League.
madness.
That'd be amazing.
I think that guys, they're okay, the people listening out there, make this happen. Like,
Make it happen.
What a
And
great
start with a
idea.
conference. It's
Because this
true.
is it. And I
It's
think
true.
for me,
Because I
like
think
you
they're really
said,
good. I
if
think
the
they're
world,
good
to give
enough
them
to play.
opportunity. I'm sorry, you've made a valid point. There's teams that are playing conference.
Are too good.
I'm sorry, like, yo, for real, let the smaller sides be able to qualify for that.
And because I mean, no disrespect to Chelsea, because you won a cup, but when you think of the teams that you played in the Conference League, it would have been pretty much embarrassing.
Your
if you
Champions
hadn't.
League
I
winners.
said that, and I think
Your
I
Champions
think there was
League
quite a
winners.
few
You won the
games
Premier
where
League,
we
you know.
had clean sheets.
Like,
Like
it's-
I think we won. I think we lost one
One.
game in the league,
And you'd already
stages.
Really?
qualified
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
whatever.
it was
Yeah.
one game. Every other
Right.
game we won.
Then I think those.
So that tells you everything.
We
Champions
we
League,
did not
exactly,
lose. I
Champions
mean,
League.
firstly, just a
But
very
we didn't play our
quick,
first team, though, in fairness.
Are we going
Ah.
to move over to Man?
a very quick snippet to Tottenham and Man United's Europa final. Very, very briefly.
Just want to say one more thing.
Very,
We didn't play any of our first teams in all those wins,
Yeah.
by the way. The boys were rested.
well,
Oh,
which made sense, like we said.
exactly.
because
But there was no
the-
need.
there
Just
you go,
Yeah.
until
so-
right till the end.
Yeah. There was
And
no,
there you
but there was
go.
no need.
Then they flung the big boys at
But
you.
even the first, before we move on, the
first
first
half.
half of your game, your final, it was like, yo, while going with Chelsea, you had your moments, but it's like it was just not coming together.
We need it, but what did I say in the group chat? I said we need Reece.
What's his name? What's Madweku?
Mm.
Oh my days, he irritated me that day.
Do you know what? Okay, so I was
Like,
trying to
he
break this
just-
down.
Love-hate
Last
relationship
season
with
and the
him.
season before, he was Mr. Man with the assists. He was Mr. Man with
I
assists,
agree.
and more times it was Mr. Man with assists to Cole Palmer.
Yes.
Now, as a result, Cole Palmer has got a lot of accolades,
yeah.
a lot of
Yep.
light's been shone on him. And I think, remember they were arguing. Remember last time they were arguing over who's taking the free kick. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
I
it's
started to
changed.
realise they're getting pissed off because you're helping this boy. I mean, they're all doing
Yeah,
their
yeah,
part,
of course.
but no one's shouting you, innit?
Yeah.
I do think this season.
Have you checked it? Palmer is thingy. His performance is dipped because, like you're saying, they haven't helped him.
They're not helping no
Yeah.
more. In fact, he's become Mr. Assist himself, which I love that for him.
But then I thought he was the best, really good in the second half. It was
yeah,
these
but I
all
do
three-
think what changed the time.
No, but obviously you're talking
I
about
think
last
it's
season.
Reece. Everyone's saying because Palmer was on.
Oh, no.
Palmer was on.
I'm
I
with
didn't
you
even watch
100%.
it.
Reece James came on,
I'm not
energy
talking
changed.
about, I agree, Reece James changed the game.
Absolutely.
Well, I was saying that once Reece James came on and it changed, the goals were from Palmer. Sorry, the assists, sorry.
Yeah.
Madueke, obviously, I don't watch your team as much as you do. But from the bits that I saw, I was just like, he was just either taking too many touches, not passing it when he should have,
Agreed.
trying to be the hero.
Agreed.
And I was just like, what are you doing?
And Jackson's just like Mr. Bean.
Oh, Jackson, bless him.
Do you know what is
And then he
like even
scored
his
and then-
goal? But no.
And then
I'm
was
sorry, I'm
taken
gonna
off.
take his goal away from him a tiny bit. Cole Palmer, it's just taking that ball in. If Jackson hadn't got it in, it would have been because I don't know he fell on his nose or something. Because the way he sent it in,
He
it was
wasn't
like the
sure-
touch
yeah,
alone,
was
it had
awkward.
nowhere to go.
Yeah,
but the goal.
I hear it.
It
I
wasn't
hear
like
it. I
he
hear it.
sent
I
it to the
hear
goal.
it.
It had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But the
It's
goal.
almost like you're just there and the ball's hit you.
And I'm not gonna lie,
in
you
there.
just
I
popped it
thought
in.
to myself, I get the fact that you scored, but really and truly, I watched the celebrations, innit? And he ran in, and I was like, you need to go and shake that man's hand.
Yeah. Did he?
I mean, they hugged it out.
They had
but
probably
for
had-
me, I wouldn't have claimed it as loudly as he did.
He did,
Okay.
yeah. Essentially, it's like just go straight to Palmer. It's true.
And be like,
humble
my guy,
it
da, da,
and
da,
then
da, da.
point to
Yeah.
him. Furthermore, just point to him.
Yeah, something.
That
As
type of
opposed to making it like
celebration, you know what I mean?
You
You did everything.
You didn't.
Ah, okay.
If it the way he did it, look, he was so close to the goal as well.
It's
It had nowhere else to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
One of
while
those.
we're on Chelsea, top three,
Palmer.
and maybe why? Just a little snippet.
Palmer, because it's obvious, to be honest with you. I don't say no more in it. Cuckoo, my guy. Cucurella,
Yeah,
Mark
for
Cucurella.
sure.
That's my guy. But
shout.
the reason,
Yeah.
but the another one for me is Enzo.
Right. So who's the first?
Palmer, I said it in
Right,
order.
right.
Yeah, I said it in order. Enzo, because I feel like he's really settled into his number 8 position. I really feel like he's playing now more comfortably with his back towards the goal. He's waiting and it's causing all the rest of the team to move forward when he's on the ball.
Who's
He's
that,
not like-
Enzo?
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
Then it's causing them to move forward. I just feel like his technical ability has flourished.
He scored,
Yeah,
right?
you can see now why Chelsea bought him.
Did he
Absolutely.
score? He
Last season.
scored,
The first
right?
goal, the first
yeah,
goal.
yeah,
Last
yeah.
Yeah, last
season, I
season
couldn't
I
see
you
it.
couldn't
No.
see it.
But
I
then
see
on
it.
top of all of that, he feels like a true blue.
Yeah.
On top of all of that, like I think there's talks about Real Madrid looking for him or something.
I think they say, but I don't believe that.
But at this point, he's a blue. When I watched his interaction with Reece James on the pitch, like they're
Okay.
becoming boys. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, them two
Yeah.
are like reminding me
good.
of like TJ and not Lampard. Lampard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lampard.
Yeah, Terry and Lampard.
Yeah, it's reminding me of
Yeah.
them two. Like, listen, they're on the pitch like hyping each other, slapping each other, and headbutting
Yeah.
each other, and I love that for them
Okay.
kind of thing. And Reece James, I mean, like, honourable mention to him. I just
But he's
realised
just
he's an
brilliant.
amazing
Brilliant.
captain.
He is
He's a
actually,
brilliant
yeah.
captain.
He's very
and to
calm.
find out he's only 25. But I
Yes.
get it. He's
Very
probably the
calm.
most experienced player
Yeah.
on that.
Out of that
Definitely.
lot. And there you
Definitely.
go.
Apart from Enzo, and they're both
Yeah.
the eldest
Yeah.
as well. So.
How long did Reece James come up through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
academy?
He's academy. Him and his
That's it.
sister.
Yeah.
Him and his sister.
Yeah, that's it.
All
Through
the way
the
through the
academy.
academy.
Yeah, so
Like,
I guess
they're not
he's
leaving.
been there,
Yeah.
witness to the experiences of the being a kid, seeing
Yeah.
the drug bars. You know what I mean?
And he's
Like,
won a Champions League.
shit,
He knows
yeah.
what success smells like.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Seeing
So
the Frank Lampards, the John Terrys. You're right. And as much as I detest John Terry,
I don't think I can't see Reece James leaving. He's the kind of player. If he ever said he was leaving, I could see the fans turning on him. And
Like they did Trent.
It's probably the only time that I'd be like, yeah, fair,
Yeah,
fair
I
play.
respect
Fair play.
that.
Yeah, fair play. And his
that's
sister.
interesting.
And his sister.
Yeah.
Fair play. Yeah, where you going? The fuck?
Did I feel like that about Welbeck when Welbeck left because he came through? I was a little bit,
How old was
but
Welbeck
not
when he
when
left?
he went to Arsenal, right? Welbeck, because he came through up the academy, didn't he? Welbeck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you just
How
talk
long
about the
ago
reason
was
I
that?
was
I
saying
forgot
because I'm
about that.
thinking about key players,
Well, we're going to go to Liverpool now.
Finish what you're saying, and then we'll go
One,
No,
two,
it's
you know
cool.
the winners.
Go on, finish.
Oh no! Oh, the winners. Yeah.
No,
No,
we're
sorry.
going to Liverpool, then you,
Okay.
and then me.
Oh, okay.
Just
Oh,
gonna
we're
just
doing
in
it all
order,
that. Oh,
yeah.
wicked. Okay, I see what you're doing. But yeah, no, I was just
But
going to
regardless,
say
it's the winners though.
that I couldn't think of apart from Rashford where and Beckham left.
They've
I was
actually come
just
out
like,
through academy.
Yes, that's what I'm
Mm.
like. But with Rashford, that's what that one I really wanted him to be there forever,
Yeah.
and so for the club to build around him.
Do you feel like
But it just
not
wasn't to be.
then, but recently he was Man United? Because you know some people are blue, some people are red. Did you ever feel like he was red?
Today, I think I would say I wouldn't say no.
Maybe
but
up to a
part of
season-
me,
a season
like with the
before that.
breakdown of the relationship with the club, I questioned it.
It's
But
interesting
then
say
when
that.
did you question it?
It's
though?
interesting you say that because, like, even when Henry left Arsenal,
Mhm.
he felt like an Arsenal.
He felt
fan.
red.
That's the difference.
He
there you
felt
go.
like he was still a fan.
Yes.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
still a player.
Yeah.
Even though he'd moved on.
Whereas with Rashford, I don't feel that I felt that.
And what about you with
Especially
Trent?
towards the fans. I don't know.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
no,
not.
Trent
He
was
is red.
Trent through and through. No in question, no nothing. As he's left, it's But
Put it this way:
It's a bit like when
the
Lampard.
likes of Trent wouldn't have left to play for another Premiership club.
no,
No
no,
way.
no,
The
no,
likes
no,
of
no,
Henry-
no, no,
Wow.
The
no,
likes
no,
of
no.
Henry wouldn't have left and played for
Well,
another club.
remember
And
when
that's
Rashford.
Rashford.
Well,
There you go.
well, and Frank Lampard. Like I remember, I was quite upset.
Where did he
Where
go?
did he
He
go?
went City,
Oh yes,
Did he?
he did. Yes, he did. Man City. He did.
and he scored
Yeah, but
against us in
remember
his
you
first
brought-
game.
Really? But Lampard,
His first game.
But Lampard didn't come up through the ranks though.
No, because he was
came
West
from
Ham.
West
He
Ham.
was West Ham.
Yeah,
He was
agreed.
West
But
Ham.
he,
I'm only saying he
no,
didn't
no,
come up through the
agreed,
ranks.
agreed.
Like,
But
yeah,
he's
that's it.
another
That's
one.
different. Yeah, do you know
But
what,
he's
though?
another one that felt true blue. Like even when
I
he,
hear you because
when
of his yeah.
and when even when he scored, if he didn't cheer, he looked almost gutted that he scored against us, kind of thing. And I was like, to me, that's a true.
I
blue.
agree with you because I think his love for the club. I have to definitely agree with you because you'd think he came.
I
up
thought
through-
I would have thought he came up for the academy.
Yeah, I totally. But obviously knowing that he did West Ham, but you're right. He personified Chelsea.
Yeah,
Full.
That's exactly it. That's exactly
Right. So
it. Was he
Rashford-
captain as well? He probably was captain.
Yes, he
wasn't
was.
That's
He
it.
was
To me,
captain,
that's
he was
true
like-
blue.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was very passionate. And for Mourinho, I tell you what, when Mourinho came in, that side that he had, they played for him.
And I
they
guarantee
did.
Lampard
No,
didn't
they
do
went
it because he
hard.
wanted to.
Chelsea, them times
They
there,
went
you
hard
know,
for
that's when
him.
you were just winning
And
everything.
I guarantee you, Lampard didn't leave because he wanted to.
No.
Guarantee you he was pushed.
Yeah, but
I
it's
guarantee he
Abramovich,
was
pushed.
Abramovich, right?
Yeah, I guarantee
be
he
a
was
shout.
pushed.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Liverpool.
let's go to Liverpool.
Champions.
Congratulations.
Champion!
Thank you very much. Thank you very
We're
much.
not haters
Thank you very
here.
much.
We're not haters. We've got to give credit where credit's due.
I know.
Even though you
It's
It's easy
find
to
you
be
equal.
happy for some videos when you're winning.
You guys like that?
But you see, I'm
Just
happy
collecting nothing.
You see, I'm happy
Look
for
at-
you,
look how
and
they
I've not
sit
won
there.
anything.
You're like, oh my god, is that how it feels?
Not.
Wow.
Can you see it? I just got pretending it.
Sorry, girls.
So go
Don't
on,
touch
go on.
me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Go on, your top three. Let's start with your top three. this
Top
season.
three. Obviously, man like Salah,
Mm-hmm.
McAllister,
Okay.
Good shout.
and
I think you say Van Dijk.
no,
Mm.
McAllister. I
So it
think
was who? Salah?
Salah, McAllister.
And who's your third?
I think Gravenberg.
Okay.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Why? Just out of interest.
He's managed to play not just. He's not just kept in one row.
Mm-hmm.
He's the way he holds the ball, the way he reads the game.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not happening from him, it's a bit messy in the middle. And one of the time it's from Gravenberg to McAllister, and
Where does he
McAllister
play on
just
the
takes
right?
it off.
Where does he play? On right wing?
So once McAllister's got it, he reads. I mean, it's like you come from a reader to another reader, and then it's
Magic.
on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously,
They create magic.
exactly, sprinkles,
and
all sorts. And then obviously,
then Salah's
Salah.
a Philishman.
Salah finish assists. He's just it's out of the world.
Yeah.
Those are my top three. We say. I mean, there's nothing else to say.
Do you know what? Liverpool's have had a fantastic season.
We've had,
right?
yeah.
You
For
have.
sure.
I was seeing a little snippet.
consistency.
Did you watch a program of the Champions thing that they had on after for your?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Do
saw
you know what's
5
funny
minutes
though?
of it.
You like literally after you won the title, you did take your foot off the brake.
Yeah,
But why not?
that's
Absolutely.
I mean,
But
why
why not
should I
get
feel
100
so?
points?
But
No,
Yeah,
but you know
no,
what?
for real, why
But
not?
it also takes the piss a little bit because it's like we only lose when we want
but
to.
when we want to, literally,
True.
literally,
That
exactly
said,
that.
we still beat you. You're not taking that away
Not-
from me. Kiss my nyash.
Yes. Wow.
Well, yes,
What?
true.
What? That 3-1. Okay.
It's called a smack up.
Liverpool said, should we
like
allow
you. We like
Chelsea
you.
a little?
But let's give you a little
Let's give
bit.
Chelsea
And then what
a
happened
little
in the game
chance
the
to
week
come
after
back,
with-
come
was
up
it
in the
Arsenal?
Champions
Arsenal, we
League.
drew. We drew with them.
So wait, Liverpool said we'll let Chelsea win, but
Yeah,
but
we're
we're
not
not
letting
letting this one.
Yeah,
this one
yeah,
behind
yeah,
us.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
we're not
yeah.
doing that. And then we lost the next game to whoever, and then we drew the last game. So it's like,
But it does go to back up until that point. They were really consistent.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We've been. I mean, what's the best
How many
signing
games
of our
did you lose?
season?
How many games did you lose this season?
4.
4 or 5? That's
Wow.
4.
That's pretty
Man
good.
United.
That's pretty good. What did you say?
Nothing.
She said,
Did you say, let me do
She said, let me see United.
I said nothing. I ain't got
Do you
my
know what I
glasses.
heard? Just the stats, sorry to cut
Yeah.
you. Apparently Tottenham lost
Man
22
United obviously
games.
done
Yeah,
it,
they
so I
did.
need to go.
But
onto
won
the
the
They
FA
did.
Cup, what's that,
Yeah.
one Europa League. That's
Win,
crazy.
draw, loss.
They literally were 1 point away from. I mean, they were just whatever. What's it? The
Relegation.
17th. Yeah, relegation,
Yeah.
and then. Now my question. Okay, no. Let me finish my Liverpool
Yeah.
first. So, obviously, with our biggest signing, it's being Mr. Anslot, our best. All he did is tweak the actual. You know, it's amazing. It's just a little tweak of something. Magic happened, and Salah was free. It felt like I said it before. It felt lighter.
But I will say, it felt like last season Salah had fallen out with
Klopp.
Oh yeah, no. I think the season
They
was
had,
leaving.
they had,
And,
Yeah,
and
They
you
had.
can see where he obviously gets on well with Slot.
Yeah.
Was there something towards
They had
the end?
arguments.
Yeah, it's a
They
man
had
like,
argument on
yeah,
the pitch.
on the
Yeah.
touchline.
No,
Yeah.
they
Touchline.
had a falling out, so he
Yeah.
probably wasn't.
Salah was doing this to him.
Yeah.
Whereas with Slot, he's obviously
He's
having a great time with
yeah.
him.
No, but even at the final match when everyone was like, woo, when he was leaving, I swear Salah's face weren't like
But
the
just
one.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
wasn't,
phased.
it
It was
wasn't,
like,
it wasn't.
yo, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
Breakdown of some
great.
sort.
great
And how was it
signing.
seeing
And
Trent crying, eh?
I know.
Have
it
you
was
heard
rough.
what social media's saying about that? Everyone's always faking.
Oh, they
crocodile
can just
tears.
get lost.
Do you know
It
what?
is,
That's
but you're so
offensive to me.
pathetic.
I'm sorry,
Like,
but
get
then
over
you
it.
see-
I rarely see big men pretending to cry. That's
Exactly.
something Gal does. I'm sorry, but I rarely see big men
The way
pretending
Trent
to
was
cry.
balling
Well,
in his...
I didn't watch any of the celebrations.
No, I
so-
didn't.
It
I
was
didn't
on-
watch
it was on pitch.
I'm with you on that now.
It was on. I mean, I did.
I've
I
seen
love that shit.
clips.
But it was on pitch, and he was welling up. I think
Yeah,
it was
literally.
mum,
With
his
his
mum.
mom,
I
his
saw that.
brother,
His brother, right.
as well.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was,
Yeah,
it was a
totally.
lot.
And his brother had like completely broken down.
Yeah.
And then he turned around, 'cause he's trying to fix up kind of thing. You could try and see he's trying to compose himself.
But it just,
But everyone's
it
like,
was too
oh,
much.
I've never seen someone cry without tears. The man's
It was
trying
tears.
to compose himself.
Yeah.
I think
But you know
people
what?
just got nothing to do, nothing better to do, nothing
Sit
better to
back
say.
down.
But you're a lot
just
though
whatever.
doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
This is the problem. It's like, let a man choose where he wants to go. Let a man live. Let a man just go and see what he's done.
Like he
Everything.
works for them, you know.
Do you know what I mean? It's leave it alone. It's time on. Move
Some fans
on.
said, well, yeah, he did.
Flips
They're
out.
the fans. So he
Well,
did work for us.
whatever.
And even the way
But-
that people saying stuff like, "Oh, we only made him over £100 million, but you know, good for you." It's like, no, you know, he did a job. You didn't hand it to
What
him.
did they say?
Oh, we only made him over 100 million, but you know, you're welcome.
Hold on a minute.
He worked
Do
for
they
it.
Do you know what?
ever?
I'm not
It's
even-
like,
in
exactly.
fact,
They don't even
that's
need
not
my
even
2
worth the
minutes.
response.
Yeah, because
That
that's
is not even worth
pathetic.
any time
That
because
is
it's the most
pathetic.
dumbest shit I've ever heard.
And what time? I guarantee the people saying that ain't been to a single football game.
Yeah.
So what did you put in his pocket?
You're gonna.
Probably ain't even bought a shirt.
Do you know what I mean? Probably watching it at your friend's TNT.
Yeah. Because you can't afford it.
But you're saying you.
Wow. There's
But
so
you're
many things
too
that could be
big.
said to
I
that, but I
mean,
won't.
talking
because
about-
online.
Don't care. Yeah, we don't really want to know about that one, Melanie. It's all good.
Selling
It's
your
still
ass.
paid at the end of the day.
We'll leave it,
Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Oh my
So no,
gosh.
relax.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So they've come in as we were talking about, as we're still on Liverpool. So Madrid are letting him go early for 10 million.
€8, 10 million
10 million,
euros.
10
Yeah, 10
8
million euros.
pounds,
Yeah.
Madrid have bought him early because they wanted to play in the World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
World Cup.
And then
I ain't
some
gonna
of the-
lie though, that must be quite an ego boost.
It is.
And then
it is.
some of the
Yeah.
some of the press kind of like, well, it was bad business by Madrid.
How
No,
so?
how is it
How
bad-
so?
my whole
Like,
point.
how?
Like why can't you just wait till the end of the
But we
season to
always-
get him on where you're not paying
When
no
you pay
money?
nothing. No, because
No,
they
but
want
we
to.
always talk about the press.
But
and,
talk about-
and,
This is what
and the
I'm saying,
pundits,
like,
and
they're
they
just
have
chatting.
they say things for clicks.
Oh,
I
they
think
do
no,
Exactly.
clickbait.
sometimes they forget that they were once ballers themselves. And B, I think they forget to be fans of the game.
And as we went,
Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
very
They
excited.
forget to be fans of the
You're
game.
right, Lou. They really do. And as we're talking about even pundits, and I'm looking forward for us to unpack because I still haven't watched it.
What?
Thierry Henry.
Oh, it's
but
good.
We'll get to it in a second.
Yeah, we've still got other things to do.
He's good. It's good though.
I'm not saying that we don't. As we're conversating, I've just remembered because you're talking about pundits. So I'm
They're all
saying
coming
I'm
for him,
looking
though.
forward because I want to.
I need to hear what
Well,
that's
I
about.
have an
No.
opinion
Just
about
too
it.
much
yeah.
sense.
Well, that's why I'm looking forward to it.
I'd like to find out your
That's why I'm
opinion
looking forward
about
to it because
yeah.
obviously what was said and whatnot. But
Yeah.
so are we
Yeah.
on to?
Man, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about our signings because I don't know. Have you
We're
signed-
going to
have
come
you
to
signed-
that.
That's
No,
what I'm
we're
saying.
gonna
I said
talk
I would
after.
come
We'll
to
do
that
it. Yeah, loads.
afterwards.
So
wish
for
it.
me, I'm talking. Well, firstly, the season shits. We're not really discussing it.
Next.
Do you know what though?
We
It could have
won
been fucking
11
worse.
games this
Mate,
season.
for it.
Manchester
Eh?
United.
11.
Manchester
many did
United.
Tottenham?
Please, can you just fuck Tottenham?
I just want to compare it.
I'm not talking about Tottenham. This is not a Tottenham space. This is a Man United moment.
Go on.
11 games is what we won this season.
How many did you lose?
19,
18.
Oh, okay, so
just
you're not as
one
bad
more.
as Tottenham then.
Tottenham lost.
22.
21 or
22.
22. Yeah.
They won 11 games.
Who?
Two.
How
Tottenham.
many?
Really?
Oh, is it? So it's neck and neck?
Yes, but they lost
More.
22,
More than you.
and they drew less
Yeah.
games. Yeah, we drew 9, and they drew 5. Goal difference -10. Manchester United finished on 42. Manchester United.
you say
have-
say that again,
Wait,
sis?
shush.
Where did they
This
finish?
is to the Glazers, to Ineos, to this is Clara at Sports Bants and Prosecco. I have been supporting this team for a long time, right? Not because though they started winning things, no. They were the underdogs when I started supporting them. This is the worst state I've ever experienced of Manchester United.
Say that
It's
again.
pathetic. Glazers, all you care about is your money. You don't care about putting into the club, the fans, buying the right players, building this club. It's ridiculous. For me, as I sit here, get out like the rest of them. Manchester United, a big club, finishing 15th, right? You're 3 points from the bottom three places, sorry.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Do you know what? It
That
wouldn't have
is
been-
beyond ridiculous. Old Trafford was not theatre of dreams. People are going to Old Trafford. And look, Fergie left on a serious note. He's left and things have been up and down since, but we've not been this bad. Ever.
Do you know what? It wouldn't have been as bad if like finishing 15th isn't great. Don't get me wrong. It's
No,
not
it's
great.
not.
But because at one point you were 17th as well, it's like
And
no, but that's what makes it even
No,
worse.
but-
Because if it was my team,
do you know what? You're a cow. You're a shady cow.
I don't know how you said that with a fucking straight face. I do not know how you said that because you were 17, so finishing 15 is great.
no, but
At one point, you were 17. You
No,
were literally
who?
2 points
I'm
I'm
behind.
never
never
being
I told
shady.
her I love her.
I'm
That's
never
why-
being shady.
Yeah,
My
she
point was
is,
this.
but
My
I
point was
hear
this.
it.
At 1 year, remember 2 years ago we finished 14th, but there was no point. There was no point
You
where I
make
was
her
worrying
cry.
that we might be
You might be going down.
right. And I'm saying, 'cause we never hit 17th. We never hit 16th.
See, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but
But had we hit 17th and then bopped out, I would be feeling exactly the
exactly
way
what
you
you
did.
did.
It didn't even occur to me we could be relegated.
I just want to say, Man
Sure.
United
She
Yeah.
must thought it.
and
I'm
Tottenham are really lucky that the bottom three was so shit.
Can I say something?
Yeah, it was a big
and
gap.
I'm going to wrap United up
It's a
because
big
you
gap.
know what? I've talked about my
Top
team
three?
all season and I'm done. Do you know who my top 3 are? Bruno. Right?
And Bruno.
Bruno. Right?
Mad.
Ahmad, yes, of course, but he was injured.
He was injured, my
Okay,
dear.
I'm going to do this. It's Bruno, Ahmad, and Bruno. Right? Those are my top 3. Seriously. Guys, people out there, you talk about Bruno's shit, is this, is a rubbish captain, is that, and there's many things I totally hear that you can completely call him up on. But if it was not for Bruno, guaranteed, my fellow Man United fans out there would have been relegated. We would have been
I don't know,
relegated.
because the bottom three was
Bottom
so
three
poor.
was so bad.
Listen,
Like, the
it was
gap
so
was
poor.
huge.
Yeah.
We were poor.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
gap between the bottom 3 and then
you-
who was,
I'm
is
still.
huge.
I said what I said.
Okay.
I said what I said.
So
And even if it would have finished 17th, but guys, it's still not good. United finishing in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, it's not on.
It's not. That's not what we're about.
Not of a legacy team.
No.
And you know what?
That's not what it's about.
On
So
paper,
Amorim,
you guys should actually be pretty good. Well,
absolutely.
do you
Well,
know what I
this
mean?
is my point on paper, the players.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you know what though? And I'm going to finish United on this note with about the manager. I still have faith in him.
It's not
Right?
enough time.
It's not enough time.
This is what I'm saying. Did you see the clip that I sent you the other day of what that boy was what he did at Sporting? Right? I am backing him. When we signed him, I was like, there's something about him. I'm just kind of a vibes, whatever, but there was something about him that stood out. No nonsense. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. He's gonna stick to what he believes he can do to get United to better place. And I look forward to next season. I look forward to what's going to happen, what's clearing out. Firstly, I'm very proud that we signed Matheus Cunha before the season was even done. Man United have not been doing business like that.
And it's still attracting people.
Can
as well.
can I just say though?
Go ahead, Mel.
My personal opinion about Man United, and I'm not a Man United fan, and I don't watch them, and I don't know the background, like what happens. But I think, one, I don't think Man United's got money.
No.
Right, first. That's
How are they
my-
building a new stadium?
Right. Second,
Investment
I
from elsewhere.
also think that the backroom, and by backroom, I don't mean Amorim's coaching staff.
No.
I mean sporting directors. I mean
Yeah.
people that do.
Yes,
I think
yes.
you need a real clean out.
Absolutely.
Because it's not that they haven't spent money. How much did they spend on Rasmus? Right?
What's
But
a shit
their
player? It's who
buys
they're
have
buying.
been really poor.
Poor buys.
And that comes from the sporting
Decisions.
director and all of that makes these decisions.
I wonder how much
And I feel like
thingy they
unless
give.
that happens, right, Amrin's going to be stuck because
But-
he can only work with what he's got.
But Mel, this is what
That's
I'm
my
saying.
that's my only thought.
I
How many
agree
years did it
with
take Arteta to turn it around?
It's taken the first 3 seasons, 4 seasons.
Because it took 3,
it
4
was-
years.
Right, because he had to buy, get rid,
Yeah.
get rid.
So okay, maybe with saying 3, 4 seasons is the right amount of time to give somebody.
Yeah, but and also though, what they did is they got him a decent sporting director that he had a really good relationship with. So he could start saying, well, I don't want this player. And he was supported. But it didn't matter how much. I mean, to the point where they were ripping up contracts. They weren't selling.
Yeah, they were
They
ripping
were just
Aubameyang.
they wanted the shit out of. They wanted that stink that surrounded Arsenal out. And I think
Was
when
Ozil
and
one
I
of
think
those
when
rip-up
Arteta came
contracts?
in,
Ozil, was he a rip-up contract?
yeah, he was. Yeah. And when Arteta came in, I think he signed a contract only
Under that.
on that saying that
I need
these
free
are,
reign.
I don't care how you get rid of them,
Yeah.
right? And I think, and I don't
And
know
Amorim
whether.
has sort
Can
of
I
done
say
that. though.
something? That's where I'm going
just
with
gonna
this.
say, I don't know yet because we only saw it when we saw it. That we didn't know.
Yeah. It was
until
happening.
we saw it.
Yeah.
And
But
I
where's
think,
this-
and with Emery, we can all hypothesize,
Speculate, yeah.
but until we see it, we don't know how much.
But he kinda
power
has
he's
done
got.
that.
That's all. That's what I'm saying.
I believe, though, that
But I do think he needs to be given a chance. For sure.
but I believe that he's been given. You see how you're saying? See, he doesn't strike me as a man who's gone in this. Look, I believe
Stupidly.
he's right.
Yeah.
You've seen the chaos, and I believe he's seen what you're saying as well. It starts from the top. So I think this contract, and on top of it, you've made me come in November. I'm coming to this club. This is my terms and conditions.
We'll see.
Right? I believe there have been. Because for players like, and I'm
He
sure
was able to get rid of Rashford. I say on loan,
Thank
but
you.
still he was
On
allowed
loan,
to.
Right. Who?
Tone
Rashford has
Anthony.
was not great for a little while. Yeah?
I think the
He was
only,
still there
Anthony, who's the
coasting.
one?
I think the only concern I
Right then.
had with that was that he was given, you take this job now, if you don't get it. And that was that. Whereas with Arteta, we knew while we still had Emery, and he hadn't yet been decided. He
Yeah,
was gonna
I
go,
get that.
we
I hear
wanted
it. I hear that.
So
I
they
hear-
were
that's a fair
already
point.
lining up with Arteta
Fair point.
from 2 seasons before we got him.
Fair point. But like I said,
so he was
we'll
never
wait and see.
take this position on. We were prepared to
No,
wait.
but I think.
I guess that's
but
my
I
only
hear you. I
observation.
hear you. But
And it's
still,
just an
as a Man
observation.
United fan, and just my own feeling towards
Yeah.
this manager, and I listen to all his press conferences. Maybe you do or you don't. I don't watch all of Arteta's press conferences because I'm not interested. So I would imagine you don't do either with my guy. But I am confident that there is more, like you're saying. I need
behind
to
it.
have a say in what's going on here, and you lot need to sort your shit out to get the right players.
Otherwise, what's the point
And
of
I'm
bringing me
gonna
on?
play my way, my
Yeah.
system, because you know what, this is what I believe in. So if you want me, this is what's gonna have to happen.
And
so
it's
he's got
improving.
balls. He's got balls.
No, and I don't disagree with.
So
but
we'll just wait and see.
The background stuff, because we got rid of a lot of our background staff before we brought Arteta in. Right, so obviously they
Yeah, we got rid of somebody this year. A sporting director went.
Yeah, no, but what I'm
I was
saying
about
is,
to say, you mean the
but what
cleaners
I'm
and
saying
the-
is,
and
and
the
this is the
bloody
concern
what?
that I have, right? They took the sporting director from Newcastle, make the man go on gardening leave because Newcastle upset. He got his foot in the door and then they got rid of him.
Yeah, Dean
And
Ashton.
that's the thing that concerns me. Like, who the fuck are making these decisions?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They would have
Like-
paid him nicely. to
Like,
get
I
rid
don't
of him, but it's
understand.
bullshit.
Yep.
You know, and
Maybe
this is
there you
costing
go.
money. This is costing
Absolutely.
money.
And that's where I totally agree.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
where the
waste.
board on that side of things, we will never know.
But then I genuinely
I
do
can
think.
just hope, as you say.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
do think Amrin's got more pull than we are aware of, purely because
There we go, Lou.
Anthony went on loan.
Thank you. Yes,
Rashford
thank
went on
you.
loan. There's another white guy. Sorry, he's paying.
I mean, McTominay, I wish we never
that-
let go. I really
that-
did.
that for
Sorry.
me was
That-
the
I know
worst
he's
one.
not on loan,
Yeah.
but
That
McTominay,
was
sorry.
somebody
else.
else's decision.
Was that under Ten Hag? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was a strange decision.
That
given
was
he's,
just the dumbest.
given
Like,
that he's Serie A player of the season.
That is McTominay I'm thinking of then.
McTominay,
Yeah.
how do you
I
let
mean,
him go?
And you know
No,
what?
but actually Tony's the same, you know.
No, but
He's gone over there and done.
Who, Anthony? Anthony was shit
No,
for
but the
United.
thing is-
No, but he's gone
McTominay's-
over and done really
No,
well.
for sure.
Yeah.
But McTominay was good. He
was
was
pretty
great.
good. He was
for
great,
United.
yeah.
was a player, right? If we were playing Man U
You're watching him.
and they brought him on, I'd be like, oh, fuck's sake, he's gonna score. He's gonna do something. He was that kind of player that I would go, oh my God.
Yes.
But also,
He was
but I'm
very
just saying.
underrated by a lot of Man United fans too. Because
Yeah.
I know fans who were like, oh, one lady I know, she was like, oh, I'm glad he's gone. But I'm like, no.
But even whether they were playing well for you guys or not, the three of them, so Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, McTominay,
Thank
they've all
you.
gone elsewhere
Where?
and
Done well.
won trophies,
Yep.
won accolades.
Yep.
It just makes you wonder. That's
It
what I'm
does
saying.
make you wonder.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
listen.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I hear
What
you're
did
saying,
well, I came to the conclusion, and the rest of the footballing world came to the conclusion, United is rotten from the top.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
We
And
know
you
that.
can't blame those
So-
guys anymore
Right?
either.
So
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on the fact that it's here, but I'm just hopeful that this man that I see who's with the players, building a squad, trying to build a squad, I hope
He's giving us support.
Let's
Yeah,
get-
yeah,
for
let's
sure.
hope.
There you
Because
go.
people
Yeah.
like
I
Maino,
hope he's given the support. And then
they've not really done that. Look
But
at
they'll be
Maino's game has gone down.
Manu,
He does not even look
Oh my
like
God,
he's on
I
the
forgot
pitch.
about him.
Exactly.
yes.
He came. This guy came on.
I
Amrin
forgot
came
about
on.
him.
His whole game just seemed to have just
Yeah, but
shredded
there
to
you
bits.
go, because
you got
his
other players
style
that are
of even
also.
Garnacho.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Garnacho.
saying. So I'm hoping your next
Garnacho's
season,
gonna leave as well,
these
no?
kids
Well,
come back
Well, he looks like
and
he's falling
play.
out with Amron. It looks like.
Well, he
he's falling out.
has. He
I
has.
don't think what he said was that
Garnacho
bad.
said,
Because he said he
don't
doesn't
think
even
he said
matter.
you know
No.
something? I'm very funny with Garnacho
Okay.
because I see his qualities.
Mhm.
I see what he can do. But there's times he just does. He's still young. The brain,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe, is still young. Eager to impress. There's decision making even. Right? He can come in. Yes, he can come in. His pace. He drives up. You want someone who drives at defenders and, taking them on and all the rest of it. But it has to still end to some end product because he went for months or weeks or games, in fact, without scoring.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You're not doing nothing. You're running around like a headless chicken.
Doesn't
Well,
have the
what's the
football
end
EQ.
product? What's the end product? What are you actually doing? Yeah, come on.
What's your plan?
That's my whole point.
What's your
Like,
plan?
what's your plan?
Yeah.
Pass the time. I watched him so many times where pass the ball,
Because I feel like Madueke.
pass
plan?
the ball. That's what sometimes you'd get. And this is, and I'll actually, and fairs to Bruno. People want to say you're captain, but sometimes he'll be like,
What are you doing?
he'll
What's the
be
plan?
like, literally,
Yeah.
like the pass, like, what are you doing there? So he'll pretty much be correcting Garnacho. So for me, Garnacho, I'm like, I see your potential, but you've not been that great.
How
Yes,
lo-
you
how
got
long
pace.
how long have you had him
You've
for?
been.
He come up through the. You brought him into the as a young player because he came up. He's come up through your
Ranks.
academy.
Does it?
Really?
Yeah. I think they brought him
Garnacho?
into the academy though. They
Oh,
brought him in.
okay. I was gonna
He's
say,
not
I see
like-
what
he's
you
not like
mean
there
now.
from 7.
Okay, no,
okay,
yeah, he bought,
okay.
yeah, but I'm just like, yeah. So the end product for me was just not been there for him. He's got all the great. You can see what he will be once he gets to using his brain more.
I don't
The
think the reason he's
footballing
going is because
IQ.
of what he said personally.
No,
Because it wasn't
it's
that
not
bad.
what he
It's
said.
obviously stuff was behind that.
Do you remember Garnacho got dropped with Rashford?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Both
okay.
of them.
Yeah.
I forgot it was both of them together.
This is it. So this is why it goes, and then you go back to the manager. It's no nonsense. I'm here. This is how I expect. If you ain't going to move and do certain things, then take a seat.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
attitude.
And the best managers do that.
This is my
And
point.
what do you think will happen to Rashford?
At this point, Rashford, I wish him well.
Do you think
That's
Villa's
all
gonna,
I
no, he's
can
looking
say.
at
He wants to go
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Villa are
Villa
in the
can't
Champions
afford it.
League.
But apparently Barcelona, the talks are back on.
That's
Well,
good.
yeah,
I hope he does.
I
I hope he does.
yeah.
I hope
I
he
mean,
does.
I know
I
that's
hope he
what
does.
the rumour is.
And Sancho's definitely, I reckon he's going to come.
Sancho at Idiot.
Come back
Sancho's
where?
getting to you lot, obviously.
to us.
He's,
Yeah.
no, he's staying with you lot.
Okay, I was
I
gonna
think
say.
they're saying that
They're
if
in
they
talks
come-
with sorting
because
it.
they want to bring his wages in line with your
Yeah.
team, and I guess that's the
That's
only.
that's they're talking about.
Yeah,
But if
that's the only- 'cause
Sancho's,
he'd have to take a wage
but
cut,
equally
basically.
is Sancho's smart.
best.
You know,
Of course,
because
yeah.
like, you
I'm
know.
just saying that's the only thing I think is.
I think that the thing was we're now talking to his representation, so that lets me know it's just about money.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Yeah.
literally about, will you accept the price structure that we have, the wage structure that we have at Chelsea, because we're not paying you what you're getting.
But the
from
thing
Man
is,
U.
Well,
the
this
wage
is
structure at
200 grand a
Chelsea,
week, right?
no, it's still not bad.
It's not bad.
I mean, fuck's sake.
You're not going to get
Blinking,
Manchester.
it's
and the thing
not.
is,
You don't even
what
play every game.
And furthermore, what Manchester United is paying is
over the odds, man.
over the odds. It's
This is
almost
what I'm
unheard of. I think the
saying.
only person that gets that outside of the team is probably what's his face at City, the blonde kid.
Oh,
the Viking.
Haaland.
Haaland.
Yeah,
Viking.
the Viking.
Yeah.
He's probably the only one that's probably the anomaly. But generally speaking, no
No, there's
one's
a
paying
structure,
that.
there's a
Unless
wage-
you're bringing in a huge star. No
A
one's
name,
paying
a
that.
proper name.
Yeah, there's
no
a
one's
wage
paying
structure.
that.
There
Yeah,
surely has.
yeah.
But yeah, so United,
about
Rashford,
Anthony?
wish him all. Would I? Do you know what?
Let him be,
Again,
man. I don't think he'll come. I
no,
don't think
just
he'll
let-
come
at this
Man
point-
United.
at
I
this
really
point,
don't
let them
think.
go.
And some
Just
players
let
At this
it be.
are
point, let
made
them
for the
go.
Premiership.
In an
Yeah,
ideal
exactly.
world,
Some
would
players
you want
aren't
him
made.
Spot
back?
on, and I genuinely don't think
And I don't
Anthony
think
is.
Anthony's made for
No.
the
In
Premiership.
In an ideal world, who out of them that have gone out would you want back?
I would have loved to have Rashford back. Out of the lot of them, McTominay, but we sold him. But he was a sell. He was not alone. He was a sell, and I'm forever gone. But Rashford, guys, the softs. You know this. This is what I say when you talk about players coming through the academy. Rashford for me, and it was what his potential, and it's just like, it's a disappointment. It's actually a disappointment. I still got a lot of love for him, and I wish him all the best. But I would have loved to see him do great bit things at Man United. Go on to finish up his career at United. You know, yeah. So it's a shame that didn't work out for him. But yeah, United next season, you can't be finishing them places because I tell you what, yeah. I can't say I'm going to jump ship because that's just it's just not what you do, is it? It's not what you do. It's not what you do. But anyway, forget.
Let's start
moving on to
Arsenal's top
Arsenal.
three. Start with the top three. Get that out of the way.
All right, so I was saying my top three is Gabriel, defender.
Yeah, it's been
I
excellent.
think he's been fantastic.
But he's generally quite
Up until his
consistent.
injury,
Yeah.
he was the outstanding defender that
And I
we
like
had.
his passion
And
as
he
well.
scored a number of goals. And you could just see, you know, like if he made a tackle, the way he would be.
Yeah, you feel it, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a man that loves defending.
Yes.
Loves defending.
Rudiger.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that guy.
I think my number two would be Rice. I
Yeah.
think he's evolved, and towards the end of the season, we started to get a few goals.
Yeah.
and I think there's still more
The
to
Madrid
come.
game, I mean.
and I think we haven't quite found his position
His
yet.
position, I
And
don't
that's
think you
because
have.
of
Yeah.
we were lacking some of the
Yeah,
other
yes,
ones,
absolutely.
right. And then my third place, and it was a toss. It was a bit hard for me because it was a toss up between Raya, and the reason why I said Raya was because second year on the bounce is one Golden Glove. I think that says something.
Well done, yeah.
Therefore.
But I'm actually going to go for Timber. To come from an
no, you know
ACL
what?
injury,
Actually,
to come from an
yeah.
ACL injury,
Yeah, no, he's played
and
very
to
well.
do the bits that he did
Yeah.
on the pitch,
Mm.
right? To make that play, that spot his own,
Yeah.
right? Love the boy,
Well done.
right? So that's my top three. I think season was disappointing, and it's really interesting because we only lost 4 games.
Wow.
Yeah,
Only
only lost 4 games.
season, but we drew too many.
Due to
That was the
Right?
problem.
We drew 14.
So you actually lost less than last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we drew too many. And I
Oh
think
my
we
gosh.
got decimated with injuries. I think our squad was a bit small. We didn't have a striker. I think it's clearly evident that although last season we scored much more goals and it was all spread around, I think this season it was noticeable that, and probably the injuries and
You're
whatever,
missing a
people weren't
few.
always fit. So, you know, I will take second because I've got no choice.
Again.
I don't feel that it, as I said, you know, we've only lost 4 games. It weren't like we fucking was losing games all the time or whatever. We dropped too many. There's many reasons, and I'm not gonna go over it. We talked about it during the season. But I think for me, because my fear is Man City are gonna get better again. Standard with what they're buying. Yeah. I think Liverpool are clearly doing bits.
Well, we're going to talk about transfers.
I think Chelsea, as Chelsea do, will do bits.
Forest, I think, is one to watch.
I think Forest will do bits.
Man United will do bits.
But I also think that
one to watch.
But I think we. But I also think that we will do bits.
Rewatch
I think we'll do lots of bits. So I think, you know, we'll be
the
up
thing
there
is,
again.
like you said, when you're saying you'll be doing bits, and this is the thing with my frustration with you, you lot have been doing bits because you've gone up.
Yeah,
But you need to be doing
but
better
you
than
cannot-
bits.
You cannot legislate. It's not even that we had injuries because every team has injuries.
No, of course.
Right, but the injuries.
I'm
that
glad
we
you said
had-
that though.
No, but every team has.
No, because that's my
injuries.
biggest gripe with Arsenal fans sometimes.
But
always
what, no, but
And I'm
what-
glad you said that because
Yeah,
when you said it earlier, I was like, here we go with the
no,
injuries.
but- no, every team has injuries for
Yeah.
sure. But I think when you think that the injuries that we had were really serious, like all resulted in 3 to 4 months out.
But it also shows the bandwidth of your team.
Depth.
It's a depth. That's what I was saying, because some of the players had to be, I don't know, I don't know how they do their checks and their stats and whatever to see who's fit. But evidently, you know, losing Saka for months is gonna dent your goals,
Jesus,
like your assists. It's gonna dent it, you know. And then you lose Gabriel. We were just quite lucky it was at the end of the season. And
Yeah,
actually,
you
Gabriel
lost key players.
and he did.
When did
bits.
Skelly come up?
Skelly came up when because Ben White was out for like bare months.
But it gave her an opportunity for somebody.
No,
Yeah.
so and in saying that, the only reason why Skelly doesn't get a
Mention.
in my top
He's
three.
your honourable mention.
You took the
In
words
my- in
right
my
out
top
my
three.
Would he
mouth.
be your honourable mention?
He because I think if there was a top 3 for young players coming through,
He would.
You'd have
be
been
up
there.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I think when I pick my top 3, I think about the influence on the
If
game
you have
as
to
well.
pick an honourable mention,
But what I'm gonna say is that what he did, how he came in, how he's handled himself,
the energy.
right? The energy, and he clearly understands the game.
Totally.
does.
There's not
Totally.
much
He's
that
very
you
free
see,
for a
there's not
young
much
boy.
that you have to teach
When
him,
I
I
talk
think.
about
yeah.
Garnacho,
That's
okay,
what he's
and I
lacking.
talk about that's what he's lacking.
Yeah. He's clearly
Understanding of
he's
the game,
he's got
intelligence
real
like that.
Football intelligence,
Yes.
right? So he must be a joy to coach. I imagine Mikel must just love you coaching him because he looks like he absorbed.
Even
You know,
watching
it was
him.
him and Wanyeri.
Yep.
Right. And you see the difference. Like the Arsenal fans say, "Oh, you should play more Wanyeri." I didn't think so. I think he's still young. And you can see the youth in him. He's still got a bit to learn about understanding the game and his positioning and when to release the ball and when not. We didn't have that with Skelly. Skelly just knew what he was doing.
He's very
He come in
confident.
and he
He's
looked like
very
he'd been
confident.
there.
Very,
First
very,
team.
very,
Yes.
very.
But have you noticed that
For
a
years.
lot of people are very resistant to that boy's confidence, and I don't know what it is. I think it's a
Do you
microaggression.
know if it
Yeah,
was
true.
when Grealish and Foden,
Microaggression.
right, coming up and all that,
Microaggression.
everything's like, oh, they're young
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
great
yeah,
to
yeah,
see them
yeah.
playing with such confidence and it's great to see that they can stand up to man's, right? When Skelly does it, it's a bit like
down.
It's a bit
He's
like when
all
Sterling-
cocky and
when
whatever,
Sterling-
blah,
when
blah,
Sterling
blah.
was at the top of his game. I'll never forget Piers Morgan. Just dogging Sterling.
He's a twat, that one,
right?
anyway.
But, but let it be, anyway,
Yeah.
there's other players that have done other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to name names because, you know what I mean? But, and it's always, it's
They're
okay,
young.
and they're young, and they've got to learn, and da-da-da-da-da.
But it never comes up
The
of,
bias is
but you
so-
never get
yeah.
the, you're too
You're
young,
too-
you've
you're
not played
just-
enough,
it's-
who do you think you are? Mocking, what's his
What-
face,
yeah,
the Viking.
Haaland.
He was in my face, of course
Like,
I'm
come
mocking
on.
him. Don't
Do you
take
know
the-
what, right?
I'ma
They
show you.
forget that Haaland said to him, who are you?
Yeah, he was in my
Exactly.
face.
So now
I
I'm
showed
telling you
you
who I am.
am.
Who I am.
You know what?
Wait,
They
who is it?
forget
Gabriel?
that. No, Skelly.
Skelly.
Oh,
When he went and sat
that
down and
time,
did
and he
his
did
thing.
the
Yeah.
thing.
First games he played.
Yes.
His cotton
There you
sock.
go.
For another player that could have dented his confidence.
You know
Yes.
what? You know
Yes.
what, Skelly? I'm not an
He's
Arsenal
very
fan,
confident.
but
I love that
So
like
this is
kid.
what I
you.
mean, but it's a microaggression. Because
Yeah.
a lot of the people
Absolutely.
that think like that, if you pointed out the comparisons, they'd be hard pressed to explain
accept-
to you
yes.
Why it's okay.
Why it is
why
like
it's
that.
okay
Do you
for
know
one
what,
and not for
ladies,
the other.
you're
Yeah.
so
And you know,
right.
most
But it's good that we
microaggressions,
point those out, though. It's important that you
aren't
do.
aware. Like, there's so many things that you do sometimes. And someone goes, yeah, but did it, and you go, oh.
Because they don't know.
You don't even
see
realise.
it.
don't
It
realise
doesn't
at
make you a
all, no.
racist.
No.
It just
It's
means
just
that you've
you
got a
just
little
got-
something
yes,
on it.
about
That's
this.
the
Certain
unconscious
privileges.
bias.
It's
There you
yeah,
go,
it's the
unconscious
unconscious
bias.
bias.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So when you point it out, that's why they're so resistant to
Yeah.
it. 'Cause when you point out, I'm not racist, I'm not racist.
No,
No
we're
one's
not
saying
saying
you
you
are.
are.
But ask yourself why he's a right
Use
to
a
be.
right to this way, and that's not
Even
for him.
That
Rashford
was
going to the
standards.
boxing when he
Oh,
was
oh
having
my
an injury.
God.
What's
They
he
didn't
done
say-
got to do
But they
with
didn't
that?
say anything about Rice.
Right.
And they were
And
together.
I love Rice.
And they were
Right?
together.
And they were together.
That's a good point.
And on top of it, Rice
Sorry.
is
It's okay. My thigh is getting
He was
some
at White Hart Lane
workout.
as well. Right? No one says anything about Rice being there. You know, you could
That
even,
is
even some
insane.
sort of slide dig, like he's gone to his the hated enemy and
Exactly.
he's in their ground.
A little something, nothing.
Nothing, not even
He
nothing.
wasn't. He didn't exist in that
But
moment.
Rashford
And
Rashford wasn't well or something, or he didn't
No, he had
play.
an injury. He didn't
Yeah,
have
So he had
yeah.
an injury and he doesn't play. And he goes to watch boxing, which he can.
Because he doesn't involve
he-
kicking the
Right?
ball around.
Exactly.
And you're gonna go Rashford's at the foot. So
Oh, don't.
fucking what?
It
I'm
literally,
sorry,
but it
that
does.
pisses me
It's
off.
what you
Just-
call an unconscious bias.
They're
Oh,
absolutely
completely.
ridiculous. Get
So
over
for
it,
me,
man.
But y'all need to stop that unconscious bias and check yourselves.
Like saying AFCON ain't shit, but anyway.
Yeah, but anyway,
We're gonna go there.
So, yeah, slightly disappointed. But when I think about everything,
Not bad.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
As I
yeah.
said, we only lost 4 games. We
Yeah,
just
you're
dropped too
improving.
many points, and I think
Can I ask you a question though? Do you feel like, do you enjoy draws? Are you okay with a draw?
you see, obviously, if you're losing and you get back to a draw, then you take it, don't
Yeah,
you? Because you don't
totally.
wanna
Yeah,
lose.
yeah, yeah.
Would
for
you
sure.
prefer-
I would prefer to lose 2 or 3 more games
Trying
and
to
win
win.
more
And win on-
because we would have been
Win,
above.
yeah.
Liverpool,
So
for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
So what we're saying here is what matters to you is a win.
Obviously, but if
Pause. So how many did you guys win this season?
Who, me?
No, I'm talking to her. I'm looking at you. How many games did you win this season?
I don't know, but
I
20.
can tell you.
How
I
many did we
can
win
tell
this
you.
season? 20.
Oh, Lou knows. Lou knows.
They won 20 games this
Oh,
season.
of course you would know.
We won 20 games this season. All that matters is winning. I'm just saying. I'm just
Sorry
saying.
about.
yes, it's true.
Just saying.
I'll give you that.
Cup of tea, anybody?
Anybody got a cup of tea? Cup of tea and a croissant?
Do you know what I mean?
So Gary Lineker,
Yes.
have you finished on your Arsenal for now?
No. Let me finish.
Go on.
You're
Sorry.
not sure. Look
Yeah,
at her face.
I know.
Yeah.
done.
So
I done.
overall, to my Arsenal watchers out there, I would say not what I expected at the start of the season for sure.
Yeah.
That was not my prediction. But I take.
What did you expect?
Us to win? Right.
Fez?
Genuinely.
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't.
I love that.
Yes. That was my.
I would have been happy had you, but I didn't.
No,
But I
that was
didn't
my-
think-
That was mine. That was
I
mine.
knew United weren't winning it, and just as like from let's say just a neutral now, yeah. So take my team because they ain't nowhere near competing.
Is this the first season where you've ever thought that felt like that? You're not going to win.
No.
Last
Are
season.
you joking?
And the season
First
before.
I
season,
still walked into it thinking we were going to win.
babes.
When
We're
you know, you know.
talking respectfully. I love Manchester United, but I'm a realist. Yeah,
Okay.
and I watch my football, and I've been watching them for a long time.
I ain't gonna lie. I
But
still
the last
felt-
few seasons been what? With Man City, Kane and Liverpool have been great. Arsenal have been. Where's Man United going to get a look in where?
It's true, you know.
Yeah, we
Imagine
beat
that,
them in
though.
the FA Cup, fair enough. One-off games against City and
yeah.
things like that, Man United are good.
Yeah.
Right?
But
But
the
overall
consistency-
Overall
consistency
consistency
across
is
the
not there.
board, over the Premier League, then you have
But I
a
do think
laugh.
that's a sad place to be in.
I was hoping we'd finish in the top 4.
Okay, fine.
I've always, that's the standard for me.
Okay.
I kind of had to drop to Arsenal's old, we just got to finish in the top 4.
Little jab there.
But unfortunately, you're finishing 17th and 16th. So let's stop.
You look for that, as Dominic would say.
Stop. Let's stop.
Listen, it's just the one time,
Oh,
Better
yeah.
be.
So go on, babe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So my expectations when we started the start of the season was that we'd win it.
You feel the same?
Being the fact that we were so close to Man City last season,
Oh yeah,
Yeah. 1 point. It was 1 point.
Yeah,
Two.
So,
Oh, 2. Sorry.
I never let that go. It's two.
I came into it expecting.
Just as high standard.
Yeah,
bit better, right?
yeah. It's
So
true.
hence why I'm a bit disappointed because I thought we'd do better.
Last season was more of a 3-horse race. I mean, eventually Liverpool
Then
kind
it
of
was
stepped
just
up.
two, yeah.
But it was more of a 3-horse
Yeah.
race.
But-
This season, it was not the
But
same.
No.
But
I loved it.
But I think in terms of the Premiership, this season was really quite exciting.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
There was
Yeah.
no
Clear cut. Apart from them.
But even
About
like,
a month
when you
or
think
two
about
ago
second,
when we
third,
we
fourth,
won this.
It changed
wasn't
so
really
much.
clear.
It changed.
Even when we was in second and we held second for a while, it was all
Chelsea-
about.
Even the two
Chelsea
games.
went there.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Even the two
Chelsea
games for the
against
end, it was
Arsenal,
like,
you lot
You
were
still
like,
could have
and
had you not scored your second goal in that last game,
Southampton.
yeah,
Yeah.
City, you would have finished like
Third or something like that.
No, they still would have
No.
been second, but City would have been 2
Really?
points behind.
Yeah.
Imagine
Because
City
we-
were
'cause
shit
I was
and they
watching that-
still.
I was
This
watching
is
that
what
game
it
because we
is.
went 1-up and then Southampton equalised. And I'm like thinking, all right, so as long as we get a draw, we'll stay second.
Yep.
Right? Because I was like, well, I don't know where the players
Against
are.
Southampton.
Are they in Marbella? Are they in Doha? Are they in
They're
Dubai?
already on holiday.
Where
It's
are
true,
they?
innit? They're already on
Are they
holiday.
here enough to get another goal? Was my thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
And the fact that they probably know as long as we get a draw, we're second.
Yeah.
I'm like, they've got the second goal. They've equalised.
That's all that mattered.
That's all that
At
matters.
that point.
And so when we got the
Second goal.
second goal, and I was like, all right, done now.
What was the
Yeah.
final?
2-1.
Oh,
2-1.
okay.
But for me, it was more the whole when you guys started to draw, I was like, shit. If they finish this with a draw, City will finish 2 points behind.
And
them.
it was
I'll
their worst
tell you
season.
what, I was pleased. I didn't watch it though because that day, the final day of the game
That was
last
to my
weekend,
game, but yeah,
I
Yeah,
just
I
had
watched
it
my game,
on
yeah.
Sky Sports News because I was like,
it's too much going on.
didn't know
it's
what to
easy
watch,
that way
for sure.
whatever to just listen to it. But when I just saw, I was pleased that again United won their final game at home
did
because
play?
that would Aston Villa and that
Oh, yes,
filled
that's
me.
a
No,
tricky
but that's
one.
Emmy.
That's a tricky one.
Emmy Martinez, right?
He got sent off, I saw it.
I
Yeah,
think
that
they
was
should
terrible.
check the betting.
Yeah,
Oh
no, they
my
really should, you know.
Because the way he went for that man, I'm like,
Very
they
true.
need to check
Yeah.
what was going on. Because
That was too. That was,
that was
too much.
clear.
so.
That
like,
was
he
clear,
literally
God.
Came out,
I
just
don't know if
clattered
you
him
saw
out.
it.
Have you seen it?
No.
Right, so the guy was.
Out of the balls
he
come.
He literally, right, the balls come to this man guy. I don't know who it was, right?
Hoyland.
Right. And Emmy runs
Free,
out
no
of,
defenders.
runs out of his box and just runs smack bang into the man.
Yeah.
Just ran into him and knocked him over.
Yeah, out of the box.
Yeah.
Just ran
Makes
into
no
him
sense.
and knocked him over for no
For no
For no
reason.
reason.
But
Why are
as
you doing
say
all the
that,
way
it's
there?
so true. I didn't even think about
And
that
then,
until
so
now.
when he got sent off, I was like, you know what? They want to check the betting
bettings.
right? Because there's something that felt like
Yeah.
a Bruce
Very
Grobbler. That
dodgy.
felt like a Bruce Grobbler
Grobbler
moment.
You know, if you know who Bruce Grobbler is.
I do now because you told me last time.
Yeah, I feel like it's a
God.
Bruce Grobbler moment, right?
Yo.
Where like he was taking a little bit of a
A thing on the
something,
side.
yeah,
So-
because and he's leaving and he's leaving Aston Villa.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Where is he going?
Probably Saudi, I would imagine.
Okay, so as you were saying about the bribes, so my colleague was telling me that Pacquiao?
I was
Paqueta,
Yeah,
Pa-
I was
Paqueta,
wondering
not
what she was trying
Pacquiao.
to say.
Pacquiao's the
Paqueta.
fighter, sorry.
Paqueta
Paqueta.
from West Ham.
Yeah, so he could be banned
Yeah.
for life
Yeah.
from
Ban-
football betting on yellow because they twigged the yellow cards on how many yellow cards that you were saying who kept on getting yellow cards. There was a point of getting a lot of yellow cards. And it's like they checked
can't
it
see
out
him, 'cause I
and there's
can't
an
remember how he looks like.
investigation into it to say clearly he was betting.
There's got to be a way to do that where there's no like digital trail though. Like
That's
No, so
sound-
what they do?
They
is
measure.
they-
him, I remember.
What they do, they look at. I can't remember the term.
I don't know how they do it.
But they look at like the bets that have come in. So they look like if there's a spike
in one person,
on like
a particular
Pacquiao getting
player.
red cards.
Yeah, a particular
They let
player.
spikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
individual.
So all of a sudden, there's all this money being put on Pacquiao getting a yellow card,
And then he's
getting
getting
a yellow card.
Yeah.
So they start looking at it like that.
The
as I
pattern, so
understand.
there
So
was a
even
pattern,
even
yeah,
if
it
you
was a
weren't doing
pattern.
it digitally, even if you were
So
just
it's the
walking
pattern.
into the bar, it
Yeah,
still
it
it
was
would
the
still
pattern,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
flagged off.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's the pattern. So that's why I say he could be banned for life. Like you idiot. You're
Well,
gonna
remember that.
Wait, how much is he earning? Do you reckon? Because what do you need the money for?
the,
fam?
But you know, his salary is 7.8.
million.
That's not nonsense.
year.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, we don't know because
Yeah.
we ain't got that kind of money. But money
I
begets
have
money.
it's
It's like
coming.
once
No,
they
but
have money, they want more,
more,
and
yeah.
more and more.
Yeah, no, it's when do you
it kicks
stop?
into that greed part of the brain.
But you know what? It's true. It's a bit like in corporate. right, where I work, I like there's people, certain partners,
Yeah.
you like got money.
And every year you want more.
And you're still working. Go and retire. You're like, go and enjoy yourself. Like, what's more? What's that wanting more? You
And
know
I-
what I mean? Like
and I
you're saying,
think
Lou. I think there
that's
has to be a
the-
point where
And I think
enjoy life.
And I think that's the difference with like Tony,
Mm-hmm.
the one that plays for
Yours
Newcastle.
might want
Yeah.
Saudi.
Yeah, when he got done for betting.
Oh.
the one,
Oh, that
the one-
Tonali,
the one that
Tonali.
played for Newcastle.
Yeah,
that got
Tonali.
done, right?
Tonali.
Because they were betting.
Yeah,
So
that's the
'cause That
difference.
can be seen as an addiction and a difficult.
Yes,
like,
that's
they weren't
different.
betting on themselves
No.
or even on their game.
They were just
They were
betting.
just betting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. Exactly.
Interesting.
Different.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
betting on to someone getting a yellow card and you're seeing because then there's money being made.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
all
yeah,
these
yeah,
undesirables.
yeah. Yep.
And also you're affecting,
You're affecting the game,
You're
yeah.
affecting the outcome of the game. Which
Absolutely.
makes the game then not honest.
And even
Exactly.
like the clubs, because you're going to have some of these smaller clubs who are like trying to fight for fifth, whatever. Because everybody gets paid for just being in the Prem. But how much you get paid?
And then you get paid by your position.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you might be relying
like
on that money, and
tennis.
you got one
Yeah.
person in a different team taking the piss,
Yeah,
messing
so-
things up for you.
Yeah, so
No, it's
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Speaking of final games, sorry, I genuinely was a bit concerned walking into that game with Forest. I'm not going to lie to you.
I thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah, I would
that,
be.
That was the game that just because I'm an Arsenal fan, I watch Arsenal Southampton, but that was the game that I was really, really keeping my eye on because I thought that's
know.
the game
It
that
was,
could
it
be
was a tricky
tasty.
one. It was a tricky one. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie, I'm surprised we held the lead. I'm surprised we held it to the end. I'll be honest.
I didn't watch
Yeah,
it.
but once you got the lead, I thought you'd go on and win, and I tell you why because Forest have kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been
So
such
I
a
think they're
disappointment.
probably-
But also, you got to remember, that game, everybody's playing for something. That
Yeah.
particular game,
Yeah.
everybody's playing for something. It's
Yeah,
not like
but-
we're United playing, I don't know,
Villa.
Yeah,
Villa.
but I think
Whereas
Villa were playing for
Villa
Champions
something, but
League.
you lot
Yeah,
ain't.
they
No,
weren't
but
playing
I
nothing.
think if you looked
You're playing
at
pride.
if you looked
Yeah,
at your
literally.
wins going into that game, I think you won your last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
10.
But Chelsea
And
can be quite inconsistent.
Forest had been
One or two
not
wins,
winning,
not-
not
the
getting
rest
the
were
results
just-
right. So
yeah.
I thought with your confidence,
Yeah.
if you got
Yeah.
the lead,
I hoped.
if Forest had got the lead, I think it might have been a different.
I think it would have been a draw.
But I think if you got the lead, I thought with the way you've come into that game, the confidence.
I'm
that you've
super-
got-
But also, most of our wins haven't been clean sheets.
well,
So
would
that
have
was
been
another
the-
thing
yeah,
that
that would
concerned
have
me.
been
Okay.
that would have
As
been
well,
Yeah.
we didn't have that many
Yeah.
clean sheets. We always seem to concede.
You're
when we
Yeah.
come back.
sitting on the edge
Yeah.
to thinking, oh my God, what we're
But
going
that
to do
takes
now?
me back to what you were saying earlier about your manager, how proud you are of him. Right? Because you should be. And your players even. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like Chelsea were
Is this his
secret
first season?
little...
Yeah.
They kind of just were going, doing their business.
I'm
You've
not-
gone through the
I'm not
season.
gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I am proper excited for next season.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think Chelsea are going to be doing bits. Liverpool will still do bits.
Yes.
Man City's going to do
Again,
bits.
another
Arsenal's
great-
gonna
Liverpool's
do
another one that
bits.
doesn't change the
Arsenal's
thing
gonna do
realistically.
bits.
Like, obviously, you need.
I hope
but
United are
realistically,
going to be the
don't-
yeah,
underdogs
do you
that
know what I mean?
somehow
We
creep
just
out.
need a striker. We
So I
definitely
think,
need a
do you know
striker.
what I think?
Everybody
I
does.
did. I'm just ignoring you because I think it's silly.
I mean, they-
What she say? What she say?
I said, I hope for United are going to be the underdogs that's going to be creeping
And
around.
I'm just
you
like,
lot.
I'm
Just-
silly.
Have you seen
Yeah,
wait, before you finish, the United are going to be like that Lynx advert. Have you? They're just going to be sniffing behind.
Oh,
you.
that
It's
is a
strange.
second-
It's
that
the
is
strangest.
advert.
Have you seen
Yeah,
it?
it's very-
That's
that is
just
weird.
Wait, yo.
I saw it and it was like
Weird.
11 o'clock in the evening. I was like, this is what
What's
I wanted. This is
going
what I said.
Yes,
Time.
when Tariq could-
Exactly.
yeah,
But
carry on.
I think Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City,
Villa.
Newcastle.
What do you think about
Oh,
Tottenham
no,
now they've got a bit of
Newcastle.
money? Because they're going to have to up their game for Champions League.
yeah, that's a good point.
The real problem with Tottenham, and again, I'm gonna go there. They were decimated with injuries. To be
Oh,
fair,
shit.
and that's
Yeah.
why I say,
Yeah,
you know,
let's
you
see
say,
what their
oh,
people
yeah,
come
yeah,
back.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they were decimated with injuries.
But I think it's fair.
You're right. You're fair.
The
You're
only
right now.
difference was that we were decimated and we managed to hold on to second place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't able to.
Do you know what? Actually, just on you saying that, the fact that you were blighted with so many injuries and still
Still
managed
managed.
to.
No, it's
yeah,
it's-
second. We'll give it to you.
So-
You might just do it next season.
Do you know what?
Of
Straight
full,
right,
of
you
a full
know.
strength squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've
No,
got.
but
They need to have.
But
depth in the
I'm
squad,
excited
strikers.
for next season.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get a striker. That's,
Yeah, you have to.
undeniably,
No, you have to.
We've already put in a
Yeah,
bid.
we know.
All right, while we're there anyway, might as well do transfers. Let's talk
Transfers.
about
There we
that.
go. Transfers. I'm going
So,
to pull up a
just to
couple
say,
of things.
There's two transfer windows, right? There's one that opens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Closed on the 10th, and that's because of the World Club.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And then there's one that will open, I think, later down in June or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will go on till August or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Doesn't it feel close in September?
Or whatever. I haven't quite
Figured it out.
figured it out yet.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the dates.
Mhm.
So, but because it's open for those that are in the World Club, they've had to open it for everybody,
Yes.
right? Because you're going to be losing players. And
Yeah,
whatever
fair.
else.
Yeah.
So we've already put in a bid for a striker,
Yeah, with
Who?
Sesko.
who's the one that I really wanted because they were talking about Gokares
Gyökeres,
or
yeah.
Sesko. I really wanted Sesko.
Was I hearing things about you potentially
Sesko
getting
is
this back?
from where? No.
Yeah, we wanted to, but now he doesn't. They don't want to release him because they're now in Champions League, so there's no point.
Yeah, so it's I didn't think they were going to sell him anyway. They didn't need to because he's got 3 years left on his contract. So it would have been stupid money
To move, yeah, for sure.
But so we're going to get Sesko. He's placed in Germany at the moment.
Okay.
Yep.
No, you're looking to, but then there's a problem
but-
because
but-
your manager and your
No,
whatever
that's bullshit.
What was
They
it?
took-
What was it?
That's
they're
bullshit.
basically they're whatever the board
Berta.
and Teta they're in conflict
They're
because
not.
they
They're not.
want
It's
something.
bullshit. That's bullshit.
Because they want what?
Really?
Sorry?
I'm telling you, it's
Okay,
bullshit.
what was it?
I
Because you
believe
guys,
that.
you
No,
always
no,
say
I'm
that,
telling
and then
you,
you
yeah,
don't buy
no, no,
nobody.
no, it's
But
just-
wait, but what was it in? They're in conflict
So-
because
Ateta wants Sesko. They thinking they want whatever his name is,
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres.
Yeah.
So they haven't. So now
Who's
this
that, the
is the
sporting
problem that
director?
Arsenal always have. They want somebody,
And
and
get
then
no
the
one.
fights come, and then nobody comes.
No, so
So
basically,
I hope you do because apparently it's supposed to be really good for you.
Basically, there is no divide. Right, they're all on the same page. Right.
good. So it's going to be
Because I
Sesko, yeah.
pay for a particular person that I listen to about
Okay,
Arsenal. I
okay.
actually pay for it. Right. There's
because I spend money. You better not be
So-
bluffing.
You better,
Yeah.
you better make sure what you're saying to me is correct.
I paid for this information.
the bid has gone on for Sesko.
Okay. Do you know what it is?
They're saying the bid started at 55. Right. Sesko wants to
How
come to
old?
Arsenal. We've been tracking him for 2 seasons.
How
you
old
know.
is
Yeah,
he?
they've been tracking him for
21.
two.
Okay.
We've been
nice.
tracking him for 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Right. And the reason why he decided to stay up, is that RB
Leipzig,
Right,
Leipzig,
was
yeah.
because at the time he would have come in and been part of the squad. So they said, you know what, stay there then and carry on doing bits there. And so we've got Zubomendi, right, straight direct replacement for Jorginho who's gone, right. So those 2 that we're going to
Okay.
sort out, and I think it will be done in this 10 days,
This little bit,
and
Okay,
then we will get a winger. You know, it's just a matter of who.
Yeah,
Right.
but there's no rush on that one.
Um,
By that I mean it might happen in the
in
second.
the second part,
yeah.
yeah. Because often what they do is they get once they've got the agreement from the player, then the player knows that we're gonna bid for you, we're gonna buy you, we're gonna tech you, right? Do we have enough time to do it in the 10 days because of all the things that go with trying to get a player, or do we just wait until it reopens when we've got a bit more time?
Exactly.
To negotiate.
Exactly.
So we will definitely build on our squad. We're also going to lose a few players, so we'll look to replace them as well. And I think there's a couple of players in the youth set up, the under 21s,
Yep.
that they're looking to promote.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if they do as well as with Skelly,
Yeah.
Skelly for sure.
then it saves us some money too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I think they know what they need to do.
Yep.
Arteta's been saying the thing. Josh Conker. Oh, before we go any further, massive shout out to the Arsenal women
Yeah!
that won the Champions League and beat Barcelona. Massive shout out.
Done.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
I was going to say champion.
Ole, ole, ole.
Oh wait.
Champion.
If we're doing that,
What's
if we're doing that, I got a shout out for the Chelsea women.
I did. At the
just-
beginning, that was the first thing I said.
just
Well
like,
done, Chelsea
yes.
women, and well done,
I know.
Chelsea men.
for sure.
But I got to say,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well
I
done.
don't know if you watched the game, but watch that game.
did.
Jesus.
I did.
It was good and it was
Was it
tense.
Wembley?
It must have been tense. 1-0,
it was
innit?
I think it might have been in Portugal.
Girls, next season
You
we
went to
have to
Portugal?
watch.
Oh, no, I
next,
watched it.
no,
Sorry,
next season
sorry.
we have to watch one women's football.
More,
I can say,
absolutely,
yeah.
especially
Yeah,
there's
we
so
have
there's
to.
so
And
much
I'll
to
be
see.
able to
Yeah.
get Arsenal tickets.
Yeah,
Yes,
do it.
let's do that. Let's
So,
go.
but
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
Just
Do you know?
gotta say,
You know they're saying
props.
Arteta's a proper gentleman who let the ladies go first.
Yeah.
Oh,
And do you know what was really funny, right? You know what's really funny, right?
I like that one.
One of my mates,
I
It's a bit
like
like,
that
wait,
one.
it's a bit like England.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
for
But
real.
one of my mates is a Chelsea fan, right? Messaged
What was
me.
it said? Sorry to cut you. Something like the man them couldn't do it, so the gang
Yeah,
them
them
did.
have to do
Right.
it.
But
I
my,
mean-
Love
my
it.
mate who's a Chelsea fan messaged me to say to me, congratulations, because he loves women's football. Congratulations on winning the Champions League.
Brownie.
No. Another mate of mine. And you taught the men something, right? And I messaged him back and I said to him, actually, right, I take quite offense to that because, right, this is the Women's Cup. in their own right. We don't need to be in the men's argument.
Yeah.
You
Allow
know
them,
what?
let them
Let
have
them
their
have
thing.
their moment.
We don't have to take it away and shade it with anything to do with men.
We do with the England team, though.
Well, we can with England.
But I hear it. Let them have their moment.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's two separate
Yeah.
things.
It's
It's
true.
true. It's true.
Allow
It's
it.
true.
And he was
Yeah.
like, and then he messaged back, Fairs, oops. That was at school.
No, it's true.
but
You
it's
made a very
true.
fair
Do
point.
you know what I
It's
mean?
true.
As a woman, I didn't even think of the men's team. I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
just.
Did you
they've
see
done
the
something-
turnout for their parade?
It's Arsenal.
If I hadn't
It's
been going
Arsenal.
out, I would have been there. But I was going out that day.
And I think they underestimated how many people were going to turn out.
Oh, that is
really?
so
Oh,
good.
that's
They
nice.
even
That's
bought
nice.
Win. Our Labrador dog, that's the Arsenal Labrador dog.
Okay.
Oh,
And he
was it?
came
I
up
was
as well.
thinking, who's the Win?
Yeah, he's a
Me
dog.
too, I'm thinking, eh?
But yeah, I mean, it was when because Barcelona are probably the best female team.
Okay.
That's why I was
The
best.
best
They are. They are.
Of Chelsea, I'm sorry.
Right.
No, but they beat Chelsea, didn't they?
know.
Yeah,
But Barcelona.
We're talking about the WSL.
Okay, fine.
Absolutely, but I'm talking about
Overall.
as an overall in terms of
Europe.
women's
Women's
football.
football. Barcelona are
Okay.
up.
So to actually
All right.
Yeah.
get a result against them, because I think we've
Yeah.
lost.
Oh,
So
yeah.
question though, sorry, we're saying that for Europe. Are we saying that for the world or for Europe?
Well, no, I can't say it for the world because the American
They've
Oh,
got
the
it. Yeah, the
American
Americans are
team.
females
But
football,
wait, sorry. Who's the current world holders?
Spain.
Spain, but their women's team.
Remember hence the groping, the kissing. Was that the World
Yeah,
Cup?
but
That
yeah.
Oh, because that was us before that. Alright, cool.
Yeah.
But remember,
Oh no, but ours is Europe. We won. Was it Europe? We didn't win the World Cup. It was Europe.
No,
Euro.
You was
Euro.
Euros.
Euro, innit?
Yeah.
but and also you only have to look when we played Real Madrid. Their pitch.
Oh really?
Their pitch was like playing in the Vanarama.
So there wasn't much.
Really?
You could tell there's not that much.
serious?
So the investment in it's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
we do here. So,
Okay.
but Barcelona
There
are
is.
They
It's
are
top.
on it.
just the baddest
They're on
thing
it.
going.
On it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Well
was
done
like,
then, yeah.
I think we'll lose this game. To get there was great, but
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
No, well done.
But
No,
we
seriously, I didn't know
restricted
it was
them.
that
They
serious
didn't
on
work
the.
our goalie or anything. Like,
Wow, really?
No, well done,
And you know
you.
what? It was so great to watch a really good game of football.
That's great. That's great.
Do you know
Good game of
what?
football.
I actually
I
find
was meant to
the
watch it, I
women's,
forgot.
the
It's
women's
better.
games, generally
far much
speaking.
better, yeah.
And,
Great.
and remember the whole thing about the reason that women's football isn't paid as much as men's is because it's not as entertaining.
It's
I think
not entertaining.
long are them days gone because
No, absolutely.
It's
long
Emirates-
are them days gone.
Absolutely.
The Emirates consistently get 30,000-40,000 to watch
People
the
you go.
Arsenal
And
women.
And the thing is, but if we're gonna go
That's
pound for
good.
pound, long are the days where that was true.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
totally
as
agree.
entertaining. In fact, it's more
It's more
entertaining.
entertaining.
You will see the ladies clash heads, roll over, jump
And
up, and
still-
keep
and
going.
keep going. Where's
The
the
men
men?
are
The men are
yeah,
winning.
and keep going.
men's things that they do. And do you know how many women have had ACL injuries?
There you go.
Yes.
And they're coming back.
But
you
also
go.
that's to do with our period, with their periods.
Sorry?
No. There was something. I'm being dead.
No, I'm saying I don't
No.
know,
There was
yeah.
actually a report that women, because of our menstrual cycles, women were more prone to getting
Interesting.
Yeah.
Could make sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Totally.
So, anyways, I just wanted to say that we can move
No,
on now to whatever else
congratulations.
is-
Well
I think we can
Congrats.
all say we're
Congrats.
all very happy.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and if you remember when Chelsea won, I congratulate you because in
Yeah.
women's football I don't have any beef. with
No,
certain
there
teams.
isn't. No, I don't
so
think there
watching
should
Chelsea,
be.
I'm like,
Come
bang,
on,
well
yeah.
done.
If it was okay, so
Except for maybe Tottenham women.
oh god. Wow. Question then, because I know how you feel about
Why, you
international
mean like
games when
Man
it's a
United
British team. For the men's, would you feel different? Would you feel how I feel in terms of if there's another team playing an English team in an international stage, I
Right,
will always
Lou
back the
supports
British.
the British,
I will always back the
always.
British.
I
Would that
don't.
be the case for you if it was women?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
for me, if
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
women,
No,
fine.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
there is no
Oh,
Unequivocally.
England,
Yeah.
unequivocally,
No,
England
I'm the
females,
same.
unequivocally women's football.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
for me, I don't have the tribal rivalry like I might feel.
I think we'll
with-
get there eventually, though, and I hope we do.
I'm
Well,
sitting here. I'm
maybe,
thinking,
but like the fans are different.
but
No, but don't you also think
the
we're just
fans
so
are more
happy?
appreciative? You know, like
Yeah.
if the fans like. They're not that tribal. So if you go to a game,
Fair's
Yeah.
it's hard
different.
to get tribal because they're a bit more fair.
yeah.
If they
Okay.
see good football, they will applaud good
Yeah.
football. They will
So
applaud
you're
the
saying
opposition.
there's less dickheads in it.
There's less
Yeah.
kids. Absolutely.
Because as you were
There's less
saying
people
that,
like me.
I
Less
was
dick-
more thinking, would I
Yes.
support City women?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Would I? No,
Bunny
ask
Shaw?
you.
I'll be honest with you,
That's
I'd be a
not me.
dickhead not to support Chelsea women because we're just out here.
No,
doing
but you
silly.
can't-
women.
She's talking about City, Man City,
Man
women.
City.
No, I'd be a dickhead to have another team because Chelsea plays so well. Chelsea
Oh.
women's team plays
Oh
so
yeah,
well.
no. I'm talking about women.
Women.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I can't.
No, what I mean is, as a Man United fan, we're talking because you said Tottenham. Women, maybe.
No,
But
I'm
as
being
you,
facetious.
no, but I'm not.
So you still wouldn't.
I'm not sure, and this is the thing. It's a question I've never.
You've never thought about it.
That's what I
You've never
mean.
thought about it.
As
Yeah.
you've asked it, I'm sitting here and I'm going, "Oh, good question.
Interesting.
Would I?"
Well, that means we should go and watch a City game.
It's
Yeah.
true.
But the
Let's
thing
see
is,
why-
right, I watch Arsenal play like Tottenham.
I wouldn't dislike them as the boys.
Man
no, you're
United,
right.
No.
right, or Liverpool, fit girls, or ladies, sorry,
Yeah,
women, right. And when the game's playing, obviously, I want Arsenal to win. Of
course.
Yeah.
But I won't
Doesn't
be-
hurt as much.
If they
Yeah, it doesn't
lose,
hurt
if
as much.
Arsenal lose, it won't hurt as much as
Yeah.
in
Excuse
you know the
me,
way it
sorry.
does. Like you won't hate Liverpool ladies.
It's not that it doesn't hurt as much because I never like to see. I don't even like
No,
to see
what I'm
Arsenal
saying
number
is-
9-year-olds lose, right?
No, what I'm saying is that you wouldn't
I
hate
think
Liverpool.
I don't feel as bad. Like if Liverpool win, I don't.
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
expect to
But
have,
you're not listening to me.
sorry,
If
it's
you
the
actually
same thing.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm actually literally saying the same
Okay,
thing, but you're
yeah.
actually not listening.
Yeah, it's 'cause
She's
she's saying it the right way.
passion.
Passion.
And you know when she gets passionate.
Do you think
It's
also
Arsenal.
if women's football is on par with men's football in terms of how much it's played on television, which is a lot more now anyway, but how much it's played on television, how much is going into advertising, how much the women that individually are getting for advertising, which I'm seeing a lot more with what's her face James. Do you think it will become the thing where people do become a bit more tribal eventually?
I think that's
I think it would.
I think it will.
Yeah,
I
it
think it's
will.
gonna happen.
I
course.
think no doubt it probably take one thing for it to kick into more tribal type. You know, I don't know. Let's just say I would never expect it to happen, but if a Man United player punched a Man City player in the face,
It might become a bit
it
more.
might become a bit more.
I'm sure
that's
a bit
happened, though.
more.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm talking about
that's
females.
definitely.
I'm
Yeah,
sure that's
it
happened.
definitely
I don't
has
know.
that. Must
I
have.
I guarantee that's happened.
Yeah.
But maybe that would kick something in
You.
Yeah,
a bit more passionate about. I hope whenever I see you, you lose.
Yeah, that type of vibe.
Kind
I
of
think
vibe.
when the profile's the same as the men's, it will become more
But
tribal.
I'm not
I
gonna
think
lie.
right now people are just so happy that women's football is
It's
So,
getting
getting
you,
some
so
recognition.
transfers, guys,
All right.
before we finish.
Liam,
Delap.
Delap.
Yeah.
I'll take him.
He was going to come to Man United if we
Yeah, I
finished.
heard that. Yeah.
Yes.
He said,
But
nah.
that was based off the, I guess.
Winning the Europa.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I saw something
Absolutely.
unrelated but related. Eden Hazard said that he wasn't even going to come to Chelsea if we hadn't won the Champions League that year.
Yeah.
And he was looking at Arsenal, United.
Yeah.
He'd actually even gone to the teams, City, I think, as well. But because Chelsea had won
won,
that season,
so he said.
he was like, oh, because he just wanted to play Champions
Yeah.
League football. So because one, he was like, all right, cool, I'll go there. That's my team.
And that's what makes for me, because I like Cunha, but I'm not overly impressed with Cunha.
Me too.
Which is quite interesting
Me
in
too.
terms of Manu. When I've watched him play for Wolves, it's very rare that he does bits.
Well, do you
And
know
he
what
had
I
that
will
little
say?
period where he was banging in goals and then it stopped.
Yeah, I remember that period, but I still would take him.
Oh no, you will take anybody at this
I
point.
still
I'll still
At this
take
point,
him.
you might take
Yeah, so
everybody.
back to Chelsea
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
transfers.
Liam Delap, I think it's
No,
good.
not just anybody.
I
Don't
would
take
have,
him.
I would have
Anybody.
dream signing for me because Jackson needs some competition. Would have been someone like Isak. But to be fair,
It's like going nowhere.
I know,
No, we know
but
that.
No, I'm just saying, they're
but
not
this is
letting him
before
go,
the season
boy.
was done, and I knew where they were going. Newcastle were going to finish.
they-
Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
but they
every
finished.
team in the top
Was
four.
I-
Wait,
I
you
was
wait.
saying,
No,
exactly.
get into the Champions
Yeah.
League.
And it was
They
not
have.
that Man United doing the one thing no one wants to do, beat Aston Villa.
And the thing is, as well, I think he would have fitted in well because it's a really young team. So I
Yeah.
think, yes, I want him on the pitch, but also because I've realised now you do need to get along. Proven last season, proven the season before.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you don't gel as individuals and you
So-
don't, if you're not brothers, it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
Liam Delap, I think, will
Yeah,
work really
who
well.
else have you? Because that's the only one I've heard of for you.
So we're definitely going to sign Sancho. We're definitely. I think.
Oh yeah, Sancho.
With Liam, that's just another one I've heard of as well.
I think that's the only
That's
one.
Liam
the only one so
and-
far.
But you've
and-
still got a lot of players out in the ether to
Yeah.
come back as well.
Yeah, it'll be an
Talking
interesting
about a
summer.
lot- Talking about a lot of players, Pep said
If he doesn't have a small squad in
Yeah.
leave.
he said can't
Is
be
he-
having
Yeah.
great
He said his
players
squad's too
sitting
big.
down on the pitch. I mean, on the bench.
Bench.
Sorry. Like I'm just like,
You should have
yeah,
thought
but
about that when you was buying Man
When you're
City.
busy putting it out
there.
Right,
The
Grealish,
thing is, the difference between
gosh.
Pep and Maresca is. Maresca inherited this bullshit.
Yeah.
There
Pep's
you go.
created his own
Thank
bullshit.
you.
This is
So
what
I
I
don't
was
understand.
I don't understand because remember the guy that used to play for Leeds
Who?
that he then called fat. That central midfielder that they brought. So when he brought Grealish, he
Phillips.
brought
Calvin Phillips.
and never played him. Right, so
Yes.
they were going around. You know
Oh
what
yeah, and
they
then
did?
he went.
They were
He
going
sold
around
him
buying
off,
all these
innit?
players.
Do you
Yeah.
not feel like
Playing them.
low key
Yeah.
they might have been doing that just to prevent them from going to other teams?
Yes,
That's bullshit. Yeah, that's out of
Yes.
order. It's so very, very good. You know what?
absolutely.
That's some mad points though. That's
Whereas
mad.
now, I don't think players are falling for that as much.
Yeah.
So United
That's why they
also
ain't really
looking
putting it
at
up. Like they want to go to
50
City.
million for what's his name? Obama, what's from Brentford?
From Brentford.
Oh,
Mbom.
Mbom.
Yeah, yeah. I've just seen that, girls. I'm just
Really?
seeing him. Yeah.
Yeah, we think so. People that I follow think that he'll probably go to Man U.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, because they said that we were interested in him, right? And I was like,
I'll
nah,
take
he's not,
him, though.
he's not the
Well,
winger
we
that I
got
want.
I don't think you guys would.
No,
No,
not
I
for
was like,
you,
I don't
though.
want him.
Nah, I don't think
I'll
that would be a
take.
good
I
look.
think
Of course,
he's.
you can take any trash.
Listen, this is not. He's not trash. I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
I'm just not gonna make eye contact.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
No.
We're just not gonna talk about
Man
players
United.
that Man United are buying. But I know. I will say.
Yeah, but
Excuse me, guys. I think I had COVID last week, by the way.
Oh. How did that come into this call?
No, because of my voice. Every minute I'm saying excuse me.
Melody's moving.
Where you going? Give us a cuddle, babes.
Telling Man U COVID.
Self-preservation.
Wow. Because I had all the symptoms of, but it's only when I heard that apparently it was kind of doing the rounds or coming back a little
They've
bit.
thought about
Some
it.
people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
but
I'm in Manchester.
I had the sore throat, headache,
You're on fire
backache,
today,
like
innit?
everything.
Oh my God.
It's all right. Like the only thing I'm going to finish it on is Bruno.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Right.
going to
No,
Saudi.
they can.
Oh yes,
They
Yeah.
need to stay. It's a bit like stay
That's our
away.
Fox. He's gone.
Stay away.
Yeah.
No,
He's
but
going.
Bruno, he's
I
made
don't know,
no.
actually.
Bruno made a
I don't
statement.
actually
No.
know whether he'll go.
I can go.
No,
But
he's
his
not.
manager is talking to the people.
Forget you and
in
this
the-
manager. It's not
I'm
his
being
manager
serious.
and his agent.
Yeah,
I
his
know
agent
this. The
is
conversations are
talking.
happening. But
Did Bruno call you?
are you not going to let me chat? Because again, you don't like Bruno.
I
You
didn't
don't
say
like
a
Man
word.
United. But when I start chatting about Man United, you pipe up.
Because-
Pipe down and listen.
Uh-huh.
Right. So Bruno came
Don't
out
take
with
too
the
long, though.
statement. I can take as long as
12
I want.
minutes. Because
10
I've got like
minutes.
4 players that I can
You
tell
see
you
the
about.
interruption. This is why I don't finish.
But when-
Anyway, anywho.
Bruno's going
Bruno,
to
sorry
Saudi.
for the shouting.
Okay.
Bruno is made a statement saying he wants to be at the club. He wants to start the club. He loves it. He's still got lots of things he would love to achieve there. And for him, he's not looking to go nowhere.
Okay.
But he said, if the club came and decided that they're going to sell me because they want to cash in, that's football.
Is he out of contract?
No,
No,
he's
he's got
not.
2
He's
years
got
left.
a year with an extra year extension. 2027. 2027 of extension. But he's come out, and that's what he said out of his mouth. Is you don't want to go nowhere.
Okay, so he doesn't
He's
want to
not
go, but
looking
if
to
the
go.
club does.
But
Okay.
Ruben does not want him to go. So again, it comes back
Okay.
to what we were saying now about the power, how much power he gets. So essentially, Ruben does not want him to go. Bruno does not want to go. Bruno loves it at Manchester and he wants to be in Manchester.
Do you know what?
You
You only
can
go.
tell your manager or your agent that you've been chatting to go and carry on chatting his
It was
chats.
just on the news
Do you know
today.
what? You
Yeah.
only go Saudi if you're looking at retiring in the
My
next
whole
few
point,
years.
Bruno's-
If
That's
you're
the-
still
that's
wanting
the
to win
end.
this, that, and the
I think so.
third,
Bruno's
no.
not going nowhere, so they
That's
can
the
keep their
end.
hands. But they're trying to make him the highest paid player in the world.
He's not that good though.
What?
Sorry,
Yes.
And he's not.
Oh,
Sorry,
come on.
he's not that
This is what I'm
good.
saying, but
Foolishness.
this is
That's a bit
Saudi.
mad.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
this is
Saudi.
Saudi.
I
Oh,
thought you were
no,
talking about
not
Man U.
United.
What, more than Ronaldo?
This is what I'm saying. They're desperate for him.
Why?
I would go.
No, but why are they desperate
Bruno,
for Bruno?
let me tell Bruno.
Let's go to Liverpool transfers now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
But
so
something decent.
Frimpong.
Frimpong is already.
Let's talk about
Did you see
something
how happy
decent.
he was in
I
his
know.
Oh, he's like, you're gonna be
All
watching
right,
me now.
Frimpong, I don't know. He was about to disrespect
He
Liverpool
went-
because the amount of disrespect I get. But carry on.
The way his girls goes, Daddy.
Why?
He went,
You're
Dad.
together.
Wait. He went. What was it? Goes, Dad. I play for your team.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah, because when I
And his
hugged
dad
him.
going, his dad went, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And his
Yeah.
mum's like, give me
that's
5.
nice.
Yes.
And it was,
It's
oh.
beautiful.
That is nice.
Beautiful.
And then Walt's the 100 million trigger,
Oh, yeah.
109.
130 now.
interesting.
Wait,
130.
What's that?
Yeah. the Florian Ritz. Yeah.
I'm like, is he
From-
worth that kind of money though?
Well, this is the thing. It's like
Is this him, Mel?
Yeah, 130 million.
130
Where's he coming from?
from Bayern Leverkusen.
What's his
He's
CV?
striker.
Midfielder.
What's his CV?
Yeah,
you look-
he's. I mean, they just won their thingy
First.
last season.
But
before
it's
that.
still 100. Anyway, yeah.
But the thing is, if fine, we're getting 8 million back. We didn't have to go to Japan or go and play other things. We're getting 8 million back
Yeah,
for free.
true.
You know. So
She didn't hear it. She didn't hear it.
I chose to ignore it. You're getting who for 100 million for free? What did you say?
no worries, past. You don't want to hear it.
That's good. Cool. Cool.
Then
it's fine.
we've
Keep
got
pushing.
obviously we've got Kirkers already from
Who?
Kirkers
Who's Kirkers?
Isn't he
from
from
Bournemouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From Bournemouth, not
Yeah.
a forward. And then there's somebody else. We're looking at Iketize,
Yeah, I think
Iketize,
Chelsea
something like
looking
that.
at him as well.
Yeah, and you guys as well,
No,
apparently.
we're not really.
From Frankfurt. He's
No,
supposed to be
we're
really
not
good.
really.
Young,
I think,
exciting.
I think Tottenham
yeah.
are, Chelsea
Yeah.
are, and Liverpool are.
Yeah, so, but...
What was the highlight for you guys? What was
and Diaz might be
What's going
going.
on to Nunes?
I don't know yet. This is a question. But Diaz might be going to Saudi as well.
Or
So,
Barca. Barca
Can
are interested
I
in.
just
Yeah,
again,
Barca.
that's
He
been
wants to go
interesting.
Barca.
What's been the highlight of your season? Fuck Liverpool.
No,
What's
we
your
haven't
highlight of
finished.
the season?
So, can I just talk about what's your highlight? My friend, you ain't got no highlights. Highlights. No. That's why. I think that one you should just skip because there's nothing coming from you. Nonsense. Now, let's talk about highlights.
Did I say highlights about your team?
No, but
I said,
there's no
what
point
is the
because you said
highlight?
Oh, the
Liverpool.
highlight of
My
season.
highlight for the team season was seeing Declan Rice score those 3 goals against Real Madrid. Even though I support Madrid, those goals, was it 2? Sorry,
He scored 2.
It's got
sorry,
two.
2. Feels like he scored all the 3
Nah,
goals.
my highlight, ain't gonna lie, is the 5-1 double of Man City, and then the DJ at the
yeah.
end of the game saying, "Sit down, bitch. Be humble."
I'm gonna lie, I mean, that's not the exact words.
That's gotta be. I mean,
And then
Nah.
if it was for my
Be
team,
humble.
it would have
Yeah.
only been like coming back in Europa. That was my only my moments of pleasure came from Europa for me.
oh, against Lyon.
Yeah, like, to be down and come back in the 6 minutes and score that. You lot are fucking haters.
I'm trying to remember the game.
I don't. Do you know what, actually,
your eye contact because every time.
can I be honest, right? I'm not even hating.
You're
Because there's
laughing.
nothing there to hate. There's just nothing there.
No, okay, for me, I wasn't hating. I just couldn't remember the game.
Because you didn't watch it. It doesn't matter.
I think that's why she called us rude when we said we didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the one that I was having
did,
a
was
whole
rude, yeah.
conversation to myself in the group chat? I was asking questions and answering them myself.
I don't think so. Clara, you didn't notice it the day. You noticed it the day after.
That's what I'm saying. In that moment,
No, because she's like, oh my god, girls, yeah, girls. She's going back and forth, back and forth.
by myself.
I don't think she clocked it till the next day that nobody was smoking.
No, it's only that's what I'm saying. I'm like, hold a minute. They're rude.
I only saw the messages the day after.
Oh my whole group chat.
Sorry, darling.
I had a whole conversation to myself. I mean, I like
Sorry.
talking to myself, but like girls.
It was
Sorry.
different.
That was funny.
1 minute
But
prayers,
in
I can't
fairness
breathe.
to me, I'm sorry. I didn't even see the messages till the next day.
No,
I
it was
didn't even
like,
see them.
The next
I'm
day,
That's what I'm
I heard her saying, "Oh, no one's something rude." I was just like, "No, I just buried it up." I was just like, "Yo, this girl's mad, you know."
But the thing is, to be honest with you, she didn't need us. She didn't need us. Like,
No, she was good. She was good.
This girl's mad, you know. But she,
all we would have done is pissed her off.
Because we would have done something, and it would have just sis, you were good on your own.
I looked at it. I was like, did I have a whole? So I decided on the final, with the day that Liverpool were Tottenham. Remember, I was like, I ain't chatting to you lot. When you was like, Clara, you still there? You still?
Oh, yeah.
Are you
So you
away?
there.
Because I was like, I'm not chatting. You lot can chat to yourself.
No, but we did that. But we was
Second
watching.
half.
We was having a
But
conversation.
we did what you
Yeah,
told us to do.
exactly.
We watched
We
the
watched the
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My highlight for the season?
Yes, Lou.
There was, I think maybe it was like, maybe 10 games in, and it just felt like Chelsea was back.
Yeah.
I remember talking to my friend who's an
I
Arsenal
thought you were going to
supporter.
say my husband.
Oh, my friend. Well, my husband was Liverpool. And he was like, I really hope Chelsea lose this weekend. And that made me so happy because he obviously saw us as a threat.
Threat. Yeah.
And he's, I was like,
And you were.
and we
You,
was, I think
you
we
really
was,
did.
And after that game, we went second. And it was like, we're back. The
And I
boys
have
are
to
back.
say, I have to give again props to managers, like shout outs if we're going to shout out managers as well.
Can I just say,
Let's go.
before
Yeah.
we go any further, I just want to send my commiserations to the Liverpool fans. that
Oh
were at that
my
parade.
days.
I just
Thank
I still don't even
that was
understand
terrible.
it.
Just-
We didn't even touch that first.
Paul
Yeah.
Doyle, the man's name is Paul Doyle, I believe.
Yeah,
He's an absolute twat.
So someone's trying to say that he was being attacked, hence the reason he did it. But
Attacked
I've
by
looked at
who?
the
By what?
video
No.
by the mob.
No.
But I looked at the video and
No,
it,
he was being attacked after he did it. So
Not
the mob was
before.
trying to get him out the
Exactly,
car.
get him out the
but then
car.
that was after he
Can I
driven
ask you a
into the
question?
either
crowd.
way, for me, why are we making excuses?
Not even that. How did the car?
Follow
Security-
the ambulance.
security
In front
let
of
him
the
in.
ambulance.
That's what I didn't
He
understand.
was on
the ambulance.
There was an
Right.
ambulance
Okay,
coming.
that's
and
what I
Jacked
wanted.
on behind the ambulance and got in.
Right, that's what
So
I was
he
trying
knew
to
what he was
understand.
doing.
Security let him in.
So then
No.
he knew what he was
He
doing.
knew what he was doing.
And they're
Either
saying
way,
that
just go
he had-
slow.
He was on shed loads
Loads
of
of
coke.
drugs. Yeah, he was high on drugs. Yeah.
But you know what the
Intoxicating
craziest
drugs.
thing is waking up of knowing, like, as a black person or as
Excuses.
not knowing. First, it's like you're waiting, like, okay, is
Oh
that a
my
black person?
God.
Is
He's
that
not
a
black.
black?
Oh,
It's
he's
not
not black.
You know, and then when you hear it's not you,
yes.
Do you know what?
do you know what I mean?
relief
When
of
we
that he
leave-
was in a person of
when we-
colour.
Oh
when
my
me and
God.
when me and my colleague spoke about
That's-
it, the
that's
following
sad.
night
Do you know what I
was-
mean?
And I said, and I know it's really awful,
It's not.
but my heart went, thank the Lord
It's not
it
awful.
wasn't somebody of,
Who's
like a
not-
Muslim or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a black person.
Yeah.
Because they would already sign out that
They
it was
already
some,
had
some
said-
sort of
yeah,
terrorism
before the door
Standard.
And I was like,
opened,
thank the
they
Lord.
said-
I don't think I could have handled it.
Whereas we've already heard that he's an ex-marine.
Yes.
But that's
We've
not a
already heard
terrorist.
that.
But that's not a
He's had a
terrorist.
nice
he's a-
person.
he's a
But that's
nice
not a
man.
terrorist.
But my
attack.
point is,
He's a nice
why-
man.
He's
got
a nice
friends.
man.
He probably
Are you
has
serious?
PTSD.
Yeah.
What was it? I've seen someone.
what they're
I've
saying.
seen people talking about because he was in the Marines. And all those people that it probably was PTSD. Why
you
are we making
Yes,
it?
you're making, and they're not calling it terror attack. It is
tell that-
people
you
are
tell that to
terror.
that 7-year-old kid that ended up in
Oh my
hospital.
And
God.
apparently somebody was saying his wife was pushing a pushchair and his 2-year-old baby in the buggy ended up underneath the car. But you want to make excuses for the person that did it.
I don't. It's just. It's really.
He could have been
it-
having a PTSD, but it's the
But
fact that
it's
you
the fact
admitted
that you
it, you
admitted
went
you've
there.
got-
Can I
Yeah.
say
But
something?
actually, I
add-
didn't really. What I wanted to do just today, rather than the
Talk
whole
about him,
all
make
of
it about
that,
him.
I just wanted to really
Yeah,
say,
shout out to the
like,
people then.
it really touched me to
Your
know these
thoughts.
people coming out to watch their team.
Yeah, to celebrate.
And celebrate.
Yeah.
And I just wanted
This
to
is what had
shout out
happened.
I
And
agree,
don't
100%.
as a
Yes.
football fraternity.
Yeah.
Yes,
shout out.
absolutely.
That's all.
We absolutely from sports bants.
And Prosecco.
Yeah.
It's very unexpected, I'll be honest with you.
So that's so
That's
true. It's
unexpected.
terrible. It's terrible. But you know what? And I hear you, Mel, in the sense of you don't really want to focus, but it's so hard in these times.
Yeah.
Not to give credence to, or even any
Yeah.
vim,
Let me tell you
any-
something.
to that to talk about it.
Had that been me, the first thing I would say is born in Nigeria. That's the first thing I would say. Bear in mind, I've lived here my whole life. I guarantee you they would have brought it.
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Born in
Oh, yeah.
Nigeria.
But can I?
Yeah.
I was
Brothers
gonna
are
touch on the
convict.
boy,
Yeah.
and it was
Da 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 da. You wouldn't talk about losing
No.
executive assistant. Losing.
No.
I was going to talk about even what has happened and where the rioting came up, where you know the young boy obviously did a terrible thing, and as we know, the boy who the young girls in the thing, right?
The Taylor Swift.
Right. So
Stand
him going, this man driving a car through all these people.
It literally,
this
it's like
act of-
it's the same
Do you
thing.
understand what I'm
It
trying
is
to say? You're
literally
saying
It
the
is
two.
an act. If you look at the definition of terror,
Exactly.
It's an
what it was.
What
an
it was.
act of
He
terror.
doesn't have. But he doesn't have a.
He
didn't have
terrorized all those
a
people.
bullet, or he
But
didn't
yes,
have
he
a
didn't
whatever.
religious context or whatever.
But it's an
those
act
people
of
were
terror.
terrorized.
Of course.
Right, exactly, because you're saying a man's pushing a buggy and a baby, whatever's under that's children, like you're saying, a 7-year-old, and we're gonna sit here
Make excuses.
and
It's the most. It's
He was
ridiculous.
like,
But yes,
yes,
there
there
was
was
a
man.
whole
He used to
up-
give me sugar in my tea.
What was that one? Oh wait, let's just wait and find out. You didn't wait and
Wait
find
for
out.
what?
when you're the-
For what?
okay. No,
What am I
let's
waiting
just
and
wait
finding
and
out
find
for?
out what really happened. Let's make sure he wasn't. It's not PTSD. Oh, he did serve for his country. It's like, why are we immediately these
wow.
things? Here's the thing. You're right. We should wait and find out.
yeah,
If you're
yeah.
gonna wait and find out, do that for everybody.
For
Everybody,
else.
let it be
Yes.
equal
For everybody.
across
Not
the board.
marching, not riots, not. It's just too easy.
Thank you. It's in 2025. I feel like
People
we
got
regress
so much.
Not we personally,
Society.
but society.
Do you know what? I don't think it's regression. I think people like Trump and people like Katie Hopkins
Have
and
given
people
license.
have given made people
People
feel very comfortable. But in a way, I like that. Be honest. Let me know who you are. I prefer
Show
to
me.
know.
Yes.
Yes.
I know, yeah.
I prefer
Over
rather than
covert.
covert.
Absolutely, totally agree with you, but it's just to the extent.
It's frustrating.
It
It's
is
just- I feel
frustrating
like
because
it
we,
just gets
you know,
worse
you
and
talk
worse, and
about
with
it, you
social
say
media,
it still doesn't help.
It's just, how can you not talk about it? It angers you, know what I'm trying. And I hear you. You give it
No, I
time, you
think-
discuss it, but I
think,
understand the point what you were
if
saying.
if, you know, we're gonna have the off season where we will have.
We're
where
gonna,
we meet
we're
up
gonna,
and we'll have
absolutely, we're
a
gonna
social-
get
more
social tap.
And
Yeah,
there
that's
we
what
can
those.
really
In
dig-
fact,
I mean, we
down.
touched on
Let's
it with
do-
the football with what was it?
Miles.
Yeah, and
I
stuff like
think
that.
that's
yeah.
a really good point. So the
Good
next the next 2 because all you're gonna get, guys, is we're gonna do one a month until football starts. So June
July.
and July, we're gonna do one episode.
You might not get one.
One
in August, though,
recording,
because we've
absolutely.
got
Can I
life.
talk about my highlight? Because
Yeah.
apparently I was not even here.
Did
You won the bloody Premier League.
Thank
Shut up.
Exactly.
Is that not
So let me say it. We won the Premier League, and lifting up the cup was the highlight of my season.
Oh my god!
And also Skelly,
Can I ask you
I
a
like that.
question?
That actually gave
Skelly,
me.
Also,
yeah.
what? Skelly?
yeah,
that-
actually, I have to second that, and I'll tell you what, I'm
Seriously.
also gonna second
I-
that, sis.
that-
High five for that.
Do you know my next one? Actually, I'm
Going
not
to
gonna lie.
Arsenal, watching him at that when you and I went to the game, I was like, scared, and he was on a closer to our side. I was so, I feel
He's a
like
big
I'm
lad
proud.
now.
Yeah, he is. I feel
Is
like
it?
I felt. Yeah, he is. Stocky's like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's why he
proper.
can- that's why that whole
yeah,
episode-
yeah, he's real stocky. Doesn't
Yeah,
look
man,
even
yeah,
no
man,
in
yeah,
person.
yeah.
You can
Stonk.
see even Timber. I tell you what,
Timber's
that name.
punk.
suits
Timber's
him.
Timber, yeah?
Yeah,
Timber,
he's
Timber.
Timber.
He's tonk.
But yeah, Skelly, I felt like a proud mum.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's when
A
Saka
proud
came back.
auntie.
I was like,
Proud auntie. There
Yeah.
when
we
he
go.
came back and he scored, I was like, don't fuck with Saka. Yeah.
See
I was
that?
like,
way you
Yeah.
say
he
it,
let me know I'm back, bitches.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Niger boy.
Yeah. But Niger boy.
Niger boy.
I love it. Love
But
it.
yeah,
love it. Yeah.
it's been an interesting season. Oh no, my biggest highlight was Man City not winning the Premier League for me.
Hey!
That was the biggest
Clap for you,
one.
clap for you,
Yeah,
clap for you, clap
that
for you.
is the
Yeah.
biggest.
At least Manchester didn't get no
the
cups.
highlight,
I'm not even
and then the
coming
next
second.
the
highlight.
highlight is watching the Viking look very unhappy.
Oh,
Yes, he was
amazing.
humbled. No. The
He was
fact that he was
Haaland.
humbled.
You said be humble, hey, my friend. You've been
You've
humbled,
been humbled.
and
He must
humbled
regret
and
saying that.
humbled.
Yo.
I reckon he regrets
He
saying
must be
that.
so pissed.
Right? Because who are you? Who are you? You know
Who
Skelly
are
now, though, right?
Yes.
He makes you remember his name, innit? Go sit down and go
And
and
he's
do
got a
some
Leeds
yoga.
accent as well.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, for real, he has. But no, it's
I
been-
like him. I ain't gonna lie.
And then tonight's game, who Haaland?
I like him.
Look, put it this
people.
way.
Tonight's game,
Can I
quickly,
just
because
say, I don't actually.
Which one? Nigeria
The
versus
PS
Jamaica?
no.
PSG.
Oh, I forgot about you two.
Let me see that way. Which one? Nigeria versus Jamaica.
And I predict that Jamaica
blink,
will score 0. And Nigeria will probably score 4. But I'm gonna throw down because apparently Ghana versus Nigeria was the Jollof Cup.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be the jerk chicken Jollof Cup.
I like that.
No, it's going to be jerk chicken and suya.
Hey!
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
the one. That's the one.
And the PSG Inter?
Tonight,
I'm
I'm
going
going
PSG.
PSG.
I don't know, you know.
I'm like, ooh.
I'm going Inter.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm gonna go with you.
Inter.
This
Yeah.
side versus
Yeah.
that side.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on,
Fucking
PSG.
gonna lose PSG.
No, but we're winning. We're winning.
I'm on Man United.
Guys,
Have a great
summer.
great evening.
Yes, for real. And we'll see you next
Next
season.
season.
Yes.
You've been watching
Sports, Bants and Prosecco.